Hey everyone, we've updated our channel name from Chinese Novel Audiobook to Chinese Novel Audiobook. Nothing else will be changing, we're still uploading a new video every day, bringing you the best Chinese novel audiobooks. Let's dive into today's story. Chapter 21 You're a Bad Sport. Xu Yining panicked and pleaded, sighing, please don't do this. Fan has worked so hard and finally made some progress on the martial path. Please don't hurt his self-esteem. Seeing her protect Jiang Fan so vehemently, Chen Silin felt that if she didn't break them apart quickly, there would be no chance left. She nodded and said, don't worry, I won't insult him. I just want to have a heartfelt talk about your future. If he is a responsible person, he should know how to choose. Tap, tap, tap. Steady footsteps were heard. Following the maid's guidance, Jiang Fan arrived at the backyard he had just visited. However, this time, he was stopped by the maid before entering. The backyard is only for women. Please stay here and wait for Mrs. Instructions. Jiang Fan froze for a moment. How did he get in just now? Are you Jiang Fan, Yoren's fiancé? Through a wall, he heard a familiar voice, which indeed belonged to Chen Silin. The aggressive tone made Jiang Fan touch his nose. How could this girl have two faces? Facing him as a soul master, she was obedient. Assuming a different identity, she became ferocious. Yes, that's me. Jiang Fan wrote a note and threw it over the wall. Chen Silin had a servant pick it up, scanned it, and said, I am Yoren's good friend. Now I want to ask you a few questions, please answer honestly. First, when you marry Yoren, do you genuinely like her, or do you want to curry favor with the Xu family, living off her? Living off her. Xu Yining showed a look of pleading, asking Chen Silin not to embarrass Jiang Fan like this. Currently, Jiang Fan was homeless and entirely reliant on the Xu family for support. If others said he was living off someone, he had no way to refute it. Chen Silin's sharp gaze made her feel that the first question alone could render Jiang Fan speechless. Unexpectedly, a few brand new silver notes flew over the courtyard wall. Chen Silin was stunned, slightly shocked. 5 silver notes, each valued at 10,000 taels, totaling 50,000 taels. They were even from the same bank where she had given notes to that soul master. Xu Yining was also surprised. Fan, where did you get so much money? 50,000 taels of silver notes were beyond what Jiang Fan could own. Jiang Fan simply smiled and threw over another note. Miss Chen, you can ask the second question now. With 50,000 taels of silver notes, it was enough for both of them to live well. The claim of living off someone was easily dispelled. Chen Silin was a bit stunned, thinking where someone who had been living under others' roofs for 10 years could get so much silver. Originally intending to discourage Jiang Fan, she was unexpectedly shown up by him. Slightly annoyed, she asked again, even if you have some savings, can you protect Yoren? Our lonely boat city is still considered peaceful. The outside world is cutthroat and ruthless. Are you sure you can protect him? Someone as beautiful as Xu Yining would be coveted wherever she went. Without strength, she could not be protected. Chen Silin thought that someone like Jiang Fan, without cultivation, was not capable of protecting her. On the contrary, he would only drag her down. Hearing no response from the other side, Chen Silin thought she had hit his sore spot and continued proudly, if you truly like Xu Yining, let go. You cannot protect her. Before she could finish speaking, the wall between them suddenly cracked open with a huge hole, revealing Jiang Fan's lower half. Chen Silin immediately sensed Jiang Fan's realm, astonished, 7th layer of qi cultivation. At this age, such a realm, within Lonely Boat City, was considered a top-level expert. She blinked hard, incredulous, seeking confirmation from Xu Yining. Isn't it said that he doesn't have a spirit root? Xu Yining smiled bitterly, maybe he has been cultivating in silence all along, and we just didn't know. Chen Silin was dumbfounded. What made her furious was Jiang Fan's provocative note that followed, any more questions? Chen Silin gritted her teeth slightly, this guy, how smug he is. So what if you have some cultivation? What can you give Yoren? If she marries into a wealthy household, she can get endless resources and various cultivation techniques. Do you have those? She believed this was the Achilles heel for someone like Jiang Fan without a background. Jiang Fan might have some money, some cultivation. But resources and top-grade techniques were the core assets of wealthy families. These were something a poor boy could never possess. Silence ensued for a long time, with barely audible sounds of ripping. She thought Jiang Fan, out of frustration, was destroying things and couldn't help but feel a bit remorseful. If it weren't absolutely necessary, she wouldn't want to hurt someone unjustly. So, her tone softened a bit as she spoke. Jiang Fan, I don't mean to target you. It's just that Yoren's fate is too bitter. I hope you can let go and let her marry someone worthy. If you agree to give up the engagement, I am willing to provide you with some top-grade qi cultivation liquid as compensation. Is that acceptable? But there was still no response from the other side. After a while, a small bundle was thrown over. Chen Silin was surprised and had the maid pick it up. She unpacked it in front of Xu Yining. 5 bottles of top-grade qi cultivation liquid emerged in front of her eyes. Top-grade qi cultivation liquid? Where did you get it? Chen Silin's face was filled with shock. Top-grade qi cultivation liquid was exclusively sold by the Chen family, limited to 1 bottle per person. It was impossible for anyone to buy 5 bottles at once. Could he have hired people to grab them? This guy really has some money, huh? Chen Silin admitted that she had underestimated Jiang Fan's financial strength. However, these 5 bottles are nothing, right? Chen Silin said, then noticed a torn cover of a nameless technique at the bottom of the bundle. Was he tearing this just now? Chen Silin picked it up, bewildered. You can't be telling me this is a technique, right? But as soon as Chen Silin opened and glanced at the first page, she sprang up from her chair, her dainty visage filled with shock. Yellow level high mental method. She gasped, incredulous. In Lonely Boat City, the best technique the largest wealthy family could offer was only yellow level medium. Yet Jiang Fan gifted Xu Yining a yellow level high mental method. This was a top-grade resource that no wealthy family could offer. At this moment, another note from Jiang Fan was thrown over. Any more questions? Chen Silin, who initially intended to deter Jiang Fan, was now harshly schooled by him. As a young mistress, Chen Silin had never been treated this way before. Gritting her teeth, she grabbed a treasured sword from the table, shouting, "Come here. I want to see if you still have your bravado in front of me." Xu Yining tugged at Chen Silin's sleeve, laughing and crying, "Siling, let it go. They were supposed to just talk. How did it turn to this? Can't you take it anymore?" Chen Silin, furious, said, "Don't stop me. I must teach him a lesson today." In her glaring eyes, a tall figure dressed in a green robe slowly walked through the moon gate. Jiang Fan's appearance immediately etched into her eyes. With just one look, Chen Silin felt as if struck by lightning, frozen in place. Chapter 22, Xu Yining's jealousy emerged. Who did I see? A Soul Master Senior. Chen Silin's mind went blank. She felt a disorienting sense of confusion. Jiang Fan, the mute whose useless reputation had spread throughout Lonely Boat City, looked exactly like a second-grade Soul Master. No, they were the same person. The same person. Her best friend's fiancé was actually the mysterious Soul Master Senior she had been preparing to devote herself to. For a long time, she was stunned until Xu Yining's voice awakened her. "Siling, don't be angry. Fan, look at how you've agitated Silin. Apologize to her." Chen Silin suddenly snapped back to reality. She was inwardly gasping in shock. How could she dare let a second-grade Soul Master apologize to her? Immediately, she dropped the sword in her hand and waved her hand. No, it was my impulsiveness, I offended the soul. Young Master Jiang. She realized that Xu Yining seemed unaware of Jiang Fan's true identity. It appeared Jiang Fan was deliberately hiding it, so she quickly corrected herself. Young Master Jiang, please have a seat. She was a bit nervous and politely invited Jiang Fan to sit down. Then she personally picked up the teapot, poured him a cup of tea, and handed it to him with both hands. Young Master Jiang, please have some tea. Jiang Fan found it strange. She had been fierce just a moment ago, but changed as soon as she saw him. Xu Yining also looked puzzled. Wasn't she clamoring to teach Jiang Fan a lesson? What happened to make her suddenly so polite? Could it be that she was giving herself face and didn't want to make trouble with Jiang Fan? Thinking about it, Xu Yining smiled with relief. Fan, Silin is my best friend. She was just testing you earlier, don't take it to heart. Jiang Fan nodded and wrote, understand. Chen Silin, however, was drenched in sweat. Recalling her earlier actions, she was terrified. She had been challenging the powerful support of the Chen family and even drew her sword against him. The more she thought about it, the more uneasy she felt. With a worried expression and a gentle voice, young Master Jiang, I heard from Yoren that the Xu family matriarch made things difficult for you during the betrothal gift. Yoren and I have been friends for many years, I can't sit back and do nothing. I will have someone bring over 300,000 taels shortly, hoping it can help, young Master Jiang. She wanted to make amends. But Xu Yoren was puzzled. Just now, Chen Silin didn't say that. She categorically stated she wouldn't help. She even swore to break them apart. So what happened? Jiang Fan hadn't even asked for help, and she offered it voluntarily. Even more outrageous was, during their subsequent interactions, Chen Silin left Xu Yoren aside and kept being attentive to Jiang Fan. Offering snacks first to Jiang Fan. When touring the Chen family garden, she introduced Jiang Fan first. Explaining the Chen family's history, she disclosed many secrets to Jiang Fan that Xu Yoren didn't even know. Chen Silin had never been this enthusiastic with her over all these years. So, on the way back, Xu Yoren was unhappy in the carriage. What's wrong? Jiang Fan was sorting through the various big and small gifts Chen Silin had given. Noticing Xu Yoren's troubled expression, he asked in confusion. Xu Yoren looked at Jiang Fan, hesitant to speak. But in the end, she couldn't hold back and sourly said, it seems Chen Silin has fallen for you. What? Jiang Fan's eyes widened, don't talk nonsense. Xu Yoren felt even more bitter and said, I've never seen her so interested in a man. And at first, she was aggressive towards you, but seeing you in person, she changed. Isn't that love at first sight? As she spoke, her eyes reddened. She never dreamed her friend's melodramatic story of snatching a man would happen to her. Being kind-hearted, she didn't blame Chen Silin but felt bitter. Fan, if you think Chen Silin is good, choose her. I won't blame you. Her eyes showed a hint of insecurity. In terms of family background, identity, and strength, Chen Silin was much stronger than her. Jiang Fan marrying her could bring endless benefits. And he wouldn't be entangled in troubles like he was with the Xu family. Seeing she was about to cry, Jiang Fan realized she was genuinely upset. He quickly pulled her into his arms. Silly girl. No matter what Chen Silin feels about me, let's not talk about it. But do my feelings for you need to be questioned? During my most difficult time, it was you who saved me. This kindness deserves a lifetime to repay. Hearing Jiang Fan's sincere words, Xu Yoren started to feel better. I gave you a top-grade qi cultivation liquid earlier. Use it secretly, don't save it. I have plenty more. Also, work hard on the high yellow level mental method, Jiang Fan reminded her again. He considered giving her the top-grade qi cultivation liquid too. But he worried she might ask too many questions and discover his soul master identity. So for now, he let her use the top-grade qi cultivation liquid. Xu Yoren's face finally showed a smile. I'll work hard. With the top-grade qi cultivation liquid and the high yellow level mental method, she was confident she could quickly improve her cultivation. Although she couldn't catch up with Chen Silin, she would close the gap. Leaning against Jiang Fan, she regained some sense of security and said, Silin promised to help us gather the betrothal gifts, so we don't have to worry now. However, when they returned to the Xu family, they saw several luxurious carriages parked at the Xu family's entrance. Upon entering, they found boxes covered with red paper lined up from the door to the living room. Seeing Xu Yoren return, Wang Yingfeng's face beamed with joy. Yoren, come quick. Meet young Master Xu. Do you remember him? Xu Yoren, puzzled, walked into the hall and saw a young man in fine clothes sitting on par with her father, Xu Zhengyan. Tall and handsome, with a sharp and extraordinary gaze. His cultivation had reached the foundation establishment realm. Except he was much older than Xu Yoren, around 30 years old. Xu Zhanshan. Xu Yoren recognized him and called his name with slight resistance. Jiang Fan followed and couldn't help but frown. Why him? 5 years ago, Xu Zhanshan was found to have a 4th-grade spirit root. His relative from the Green Cloud sect managed to bring him into the sect. Back then, he was only at the third layer of qi cultivation. Now, after years of training in the Green Cloud sect, he had become a foundation establishment realm expert. What Jiang Fan remembered most was Xu Jianshan luring Xu Yining to a ruined temple, attempting to defile her. It was Jiang Fan's father who intervened and chased Xu Jianshan away. That's why, after his father's death, Xu Yining took care of Jiang Fan. Xu Yining looked at the ground full of red boxes, feeling an ominous premonition. "Father, what's this?" Xu Zhengyan sighed deeply and said, "Young Master Xu came back from the Green Cloud sect to heal and, upon learning you were still unmarried, came to propose." "Propose?" Xu Yining immediately opposed fiercely. "I already have a fiancé. Young Master Xu, please take back these betrothal gifts." Wang Yingfeng retorted, "Fiancé? You mean Jiang Fan? Did he present any betrothal gifts? Even if he did, can he give as much as young Master Xu? Do you know how much these gifts are worth? A total of 500,000 taels of silver. Can Jiang Fan afford that?" Everyone turned their gazes to Jiang Fan. Many of the clan members showed sympathy. Poor Jiang Fan, facing one challenge after another. Xu Jianshan also looked at Jiang Fan provocatively. If it hadn't been for Jiang Fan and his father, he would have already made Xu Yining his. But today's timing wasn't too late. 500,000 taels of betrothal gifts were enough to make Jiang Fan watch helplessly as his woman was taken away. Xu Yining was also anxious. Chen Silin had only promised 300,000 taels as the betrothal gift. 500,000 taels, Chen Silin couldn't produce such an amount all at once. At this moment, Jiang Fan unceremoniously wrote a line. "After 5 years in the Green Cloud sect, you could only come up with 500,000 taels for betrothal gifts." Chapter 23, A Slap Across the Face. Huh. The Xu family members looked at each other in confusion. Lu Zheng couldn't help but retort sarcastically, "Just. Jiang Fan, have you forgotten that you are still living under someone's roof?" Wang Yingfeng sneered even more directly, "If your ears are bad, I can repeat it again. This is a betrothal gift worth 500,000 taels. 500,000. Not 5 taels. A man who doesn't even have 5 coppers dares to boast here." Xu Jianshan opened his folding fan and shook it gently, smiling. "Aunt Wang, Brother Lu, please be more understanding towards Jiang Fan. After all, it's normal to say extreme things when one's fiancé is taken away, feeling upset." Then he changed his tone to a mocking one. "However, Jiang Fan, let me tell you this. One should have self-awareness. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask if you deserve Xu Yining. A man who can't even afford a betrothal gift, still dreaming of marrying her." The room burst into laughter. Xu Yining clenched her fists, wanting to say something, but Xu Yining beside her sighed softly, "Sister, stop being naive. 1,000 words of defense from a woman are no match for a man's backbone. Jiang Fan really doesn't deserve you." Xu Jianshan shook his fan more proudly, laughed disdainfully, and then turned to Wang Yingfeng and Xu Zhengyan. "Uncle, aunt, what do you think? If you agree, please accept these betrothal gifts, and let's set the wedding date." Wang Yingfeng readily agreed, but Xu Zhengyan kept frowning. After all, Xu Jianshan almost defiled Xu Yining back in the day. His character was evidently poor. Could his daughter be happy marrying him? She might as well marry Jiang Fan. At least Jiang Fan's character had been observed over 10 years and was found to be upright, a gentleman. "Say something," Wang Yingfeng urged impatiently. Xu Zhengyan sighed silently. This was where his hesitation lay. The Xu family still had to depend on Wang Yingfeng's family for support. Some matters required respecting her opinion. So he pondered for a long time but couldn't make a decision. Jiang Fan, however, slowly took out a thick stack of silver notes and slapped them on Xu Jianshan's table. Everyone, including Xu Yining, looked on in shock. Silver notes. Xu Zhengyan stepped forward in astonishment and counted the notes before Xu Jianshan's face, exclaiming, 510,000 taels. What? Wang Yingfeng seized them in disbelief. Could they be fake? 510,000, the Xu family's income for 3 years combined wouldn't be this much. Where did Jiang Fan, a person living under someone else's roof, get so many silver notes? But upon careful inspection, she found they were genuine notes from the largest bank in Lonely Boat City. Beside her, Xu Yining looked at the 510,000 taels silver notes in disbelief. muttering, he actually got this many silver notes. Under the gaze of astonished eyes, Jiang Fan calmly wrote a note and slapped it in front of Xu Jianshan. Mingling in green cloud sect for 5 years, yet you can't even compare to me. One had 510,000 taels. The other had 500,000 taels. The difference was clear. Such a humiliating slap in the face made Xu Jianshan's face turn green. He slammed the table and roared, Jiang Fan. What do you mean? Jiang Fan smirked and wrote quickly, isn't my meaning clear? Do you have the right to compete with me for Yoren? These words. Xu Yoren, who felt downcast, blushed slightly and looked at Jiang Fan with sparkling eyes. Xu Yining suddenly felt a bit envious. Having 510,000 taels and being willing to spend it on a betrothal gift were two different things. Being willing to give all his wealth for Xu Yoren showed how important she was to Jiang Fan. It seemed Xu Yoren had found a man who truly cared for her. Xu Zhengyan showed a happy expression. Although he didn't know where Jiang Fan got the money, he could rightfully marry off his daughter. Wang Yingfeng checked the silver notes one by one, confirming they were not fake. Her face visibly darkened. Finally, in anger, she scattered the silver notes, glaring at Jiang Fan. 510,000 taels of silver is still not enough. I said it must be a betrothal gift that satisfies me. And now, I am not satisfied. Understand. The Xu family members saw the truth clearly. It was not that she was dissatisfied with the betrothal gift, she was dissatisfied with Jiang Fan. The same betrothal gift of 500,000 taels made her very satisfied with Xu Jianshan but had a different attitude towards Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan remained unfazed, instead writing another note, that's right. I'm not satisfied either. Offering this 500,000 silver note is just to tell you that these things are not worthy of marrying the best woman in the world. I hope you, the head wife, can widen your perspective a bit and not get lost over mere tens of thousands of taels. Gasp. He actually dared to mock Wang Yingfeng right to her face. This was even more insulting than a slap. Jiang Fan. Wang Yingfeng's eyes widened in rage as she screamed, who are you saying hasn't seen money? Jiang Fan smirked, writing, of course, it's the money-hungry you. It couldn't possibly be the one with 510,000 taels, could it? Wang Yingfeng, furious, raised her hand to slap Jiang Fan. But Xu Zhengyan intercepted her, yelling sternly, do you have no sense of shame left? How could the head wife of a prestigious family act like a shrew and hit someone in public? Wang Yingfeng, unwilling to give up, shouted angrily, Jiang Fan. You have 2 more days. If you don't come up with a betrothal gift that satisfies me, you can forget about marrying Xu Yoren. Forget it. Jiang Fan wrote calmly, don't worry, if my betrothal gift can't satisfy you, then no one in Lonely Boat City can marry Yoren. These words made Xu Jianshan, who was standing beside, unable to ignore them. Look at you boasting. Xu Jianshan snorted coldly, I, the young master of the 3rd largest family in Lonely Boat City, a disciple of Green Cloud sect, am still inferior to you, a loser. In 2 days, I'll come back to propose again. Just watch Xu Yoren become my woman. Let's go. The Xu family's servants awkwardly carried back the boxes of gold and silver jewelry. Back at the Xu family residence. Shen, why did you bring all the betrothal gifts back? His mother Zhang Yusho asked in surprise. Xu Jianshan, with a grim face, explained everything that had happened. Zhang Yusho immediately felt indignant for her son, unbelievable. How can a man living under someone else's roof compete with my outstanding son? Shen, don't worry. Isn't it just a betrothal gift? Mother will arrange everything for you herself. With the Xu family's wealth and connections, how could an orphan compete with us? Immediately she ordered, butler, prepare some gifts for me. Tomorrow I will visit the Chen family. Their top-grade qi cultivation liquid is hard to come by. Fortunately, I am an old friend of the Chen family's mistress. How difficult could it be to buy a few bottles? Shen, come with me to the Chen family tomorrow. Xu Jianshan suddenly looked up in astonishment, what? Our Lonely Boat City has top-grade qi cultivation liquid. In Green Cloud sect, only outstanding disciples were allowed to consume this. Zhang Yusho nodded, yes, it started selling the day before yesterday, but only 50 bottles are sold daily. Without strong connections, you can't buy it. Taking this as a betrothal gift, that Zhang boy will be left speechless. Xu Jianshan's brows furrowed, but mother, top-grade qi cultivation liquid can only be refined by a 2-star soul master. Could it be that our little lonely boat city has produced a 2-star soul master? It's no joking matter. In my opinion, you've all been deceived. What does a 2-star soul master represent? Even the Green Cloud sect master would travel miles to personally visit such a being. How could one possibly be in this small lonely boat city? His words made Zhang Yusho uncertain. Since Green Cloud sect had a 2-star soul master, her son had more authority on this matter. Xu Jianshan sneered, "We'll see the truth tomorrow." Chapter 24, Refining Vicious Things. Xu Family. Xu Yining held her face with both hands, looking distressed. "Fan, why is everything so difficult for us? First, there was Lu Zheng stealing love. It took great effort for Jiang Fan to defeat Lu Zheng, and then there was an exorbitant dowry. Fortunately, Chen Silin was willing to help, but then came Xu Jianshan, who had an incredibly high status and position. There was silence behind her. She turned her head to see Jiang Fan pouring spiritual liquid from a jade bottle into a teacup. He handed it to her. "Drink it." Xu Yining looked suspicious. "What is it?" "You'll know once you drink it." Jiang Fan smiled, turned around, and picked up a pen to transcribe something. Xu Yining pondered briefly before drinking it swiftly. Anyone in this world might harm her, but never Jiang Fan. Unexpectedly, as soon as the spiritual liquid entered her stomach, it churned violently, causing her meridians to ache. "Fan, what is this?" Surprised, Xu Yining saw Jiang Fan handing her several pages of prepared text. "Cultivate according to this mental method." Mental method. Xu Yining knew exactly how precious mental methods were. The Xu family, despite its reputation, only practiced an unknown mental method, not even at the lower level. Feeling the intense pain in her stomach, she wasted no time, sat cross-legged, and began to cultivate as instructed by the mental method. About half a day later, suddenly, Xu Yining's slender body shook, and a strong spiritual power emanated from her. Qi cultivation third layer. Xu Yining exclaimed in disbelief. "Fan, what did you make me cultivate?" What else could it be? Of course, it was that yellow-level high-grade mental method, the pure wind scripture. However, what truly enabled her to break through in a short period was the top-grade qi cultivation liquid. "These are all things my father left me." Jiang Fan handed her another mysterious liquid. Xu Yining suddenly understood. No wonder Jiang Fan had changed so much recently. His cultivation had advanced rapidly, suddenly having so much money, and possessing a seemingly powerful mental method. She took the teacup again, drank the entire bottle of top-grade qi cultivation liquid in one gulp, and continued to cultivate sitting cross-legged. Jiang Fan also swallowed a bottle and sat beside her to cultivate. The next morning, seeing Xu Yining still in meditation, Jiang Fan quietly packed newly refined qi cultivation liquid and went to the Chen family. "Senior, you're here so early." The shopkeeper, stepping out of the mansion, saw the burly Jiang Fan and exclaimed, "Mrs. busy cleaning the warehouse. I'll take you to the guest hall to rest and immediately inform Miss." "No need for such trouble, just take me straight to her." Thus, in front of the Chen family's warehouse, Jiang Fan saw Chen Silin, with her slender waist, intently counting various herbs on the ground. A pink top, a blue long skirt, and a simple yet tasteful combination that gave a sweet impression. Her full posterior pressed against the long skirt, outlining a pair of peach petals. "Miss, Senior has arrived," the shopkeeper reminded from afar. Chen Silin stood up hurriedly, turned her head, and almost blurted out Jiang Fan's name. Luckily, she caught herself and quickly corrected, "Senior, you've arrived." Jiang Fan looked at the scattered materials on the ground. "What are these?" Chen Silin, having moved around for a while, her pretty face flushed, making her skin look like peach blossoms. Reporting to Senior, "These are some expired or unsellable herbs. They can only be discarded or sold at a low price." "Really?" Jiang Fan glanced over. These materials weighed at least hundreds of pounds, all filled with spiritual energy, heavenly materials, and earthly treasures. It would be a pity to just throw them away. Suddenly, Jiang Fan's gaze was drawn to an old jade box, inside which lay a branch. Several fiery red, soybean-sized fruits grew on it. "Oh, Jiang Fan picked up the jade box and scrutinized it for a while, saying, "It's actually Forget River beans. Are you really going to throw away such treasures?" In the Taiyan soul technique, there is a third-grade spirit pill called the Beauty Restore Pill. It can turn white hair black and rejuvenate the skin, a treasure women dream of. However, its main ingredient, the Forget River bean, is extremely rare. It is formed from the tears of a demon called Forget River, reminiscing about its past and its old age. Unexpectedly, the Chen family actually had one. Senior has great knowledge, recognizing the Forget River beans. Chen Silin, with a faint fragrance, approached and gazed at the well-disguised Jiang Fan with sparkling eyes, softly saying, "My grandfather found this on a cliff when he was young. After consulting countless ancient books, he learned it was a Forget River bean, the legendary main ingredient of the Beauty Restore Pill. Unfortunately, it is a third-grade spirit pill, and no one can refine it. A second-grade soul master is already a formidable presence. Not to mention the legendary third-grade soul master. Where could the Chen family find such a person? We have the Forget River beans, but without a soul master, it's been a hidden treasure for decades. I plan to sell it cheaply." "Sell it?" Jiang Fan's mouth twitched violently. "Such wastefulness. Since you want to sell it, why not give it to me? I'll refine it into a Beauty Restore Pill and give you one as payment. How about that?" Chen Silin blinked her clear eyes, reminding him, "Senior, the Beauty Restore Pill is a third-grade spirit pill, only a third-grade soul master can refine it." Jiang Fan replied, "Is there a problem?" "Hiss." Chen Silin's eyes widened, covering her rosy lips, exclaiming, You are a third-grade soul master." A second grade and a third grade, though only one grade apart, were worlds apart. The Green Cloud sect master held the second-grade soul master they hired with great respect. But if the person were a third-grade soul master, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say the sect master would kneel in respect. Jiang Fan was actually a third-grade soul master. She found it hard to believe. Jiang Fan said, "You'll see once I start refining. Provide me with a secret room." Chen Silin came back to her senses and quickly led the way. "There's one beside the warehouse." Jiang Fan nodded, handed her the 40 bottles of top-grade qi cultivation liquid he had refined the previous day, and stepped into the secret room. He wasn't entirely sure of his soul master level. But being able to refine top-grade qi cultivation liquid, surpassing his father, a second-grade soul master, refining this pill shouldn't be an issue, right? With curiosity, he began the refining process. At the same time, Zhang Yushou and Zhu Jianshan, accompanied by the Chen family matriarch Lu Qimen, arrived at the warehouse. "Siling, come meet young Master Zhu." Standing by the secret room, Chen Silin did not move but bowed from afar. Lowering her voice to avoid disturbing Jiang Fan, she said, "Mrs. Zhu, young Master Zhu, I'm unable to come over. Please forgive me." Seeing this, Lu Qimen lightly frowned. Zhu Jianshan was a disciple of the Green Cloud sect, of significant status. Personally visiting, how could he be treated so indifferently? Siling, do not be rude. What could be more important than paying respects to young Master Zhu? Zhu Jianshan was examining Chen Silin. Her sweet and fresh demeanor, seductive figure, made his eyes light up. Though not as stunning as Xu Yining, she was also an irresistible beauty. He courteously said, "Miss Chen, what are you doing?" Glancing at the secret room she guarded, he searched for a topic. In front of a Green Cloud sect disciple, Chen Silin dared not be arrogant, so she explained, "To be honest, young Master Zhu, a soul master senior is refining pills inside. Forgive me for not being able to chat with you, lest I disturb the senior." Soul master senior. Zhu Jianshan's lips curled. Quite a coincidence. Alright, let's see how I expose him as a fake soul master. Daring to bluff before me, Zhu Jianshan, I'll unmask him. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 25. He is a fake soul master. With the intention of showing off in front of Chen Silin, Zhu Jianshan carefully took out a bottle of top-grade qi cultivation liquid from his pocket. He boasted, "This is the authentic top-grade qi cultivation liquid awarded to me personally by that second-grade soul master from the Green Cloud sect. I have been reluctant to drink it, but today, to ensure Miss Chen is not deceived, I am willing to use it." Deceived? Chen Silin showed a surprised expression. Her mother, Lu Kimin, worriedly explained, sighing, young Master Zhu said just now that the second-grade soul master our Chen family met might be fake. I have been thinking, why would a second-grade soul master stay in a small place like Lonely Boat City? If you take out a bottle of top-grade qi cultivation liquid and compare it with the authentic one, you'll know if it's real or not. Suspect Jiang Fan. Chen Silin got a bit angry and said, I appreciate young Master Zhu's kind intention, but I can distinguish whether the top-grade qi cultivation liquid is fake or not. Even if she was young and inexperienced, the shopkeeper couldn't make a mistake, right? Nor would the powerful figures who bought the top-grade qi cultivation liquid be mistaken, right? Zhu Jianshan's tone grew serious. Miss Chen, what you don't know is that there has indeed been a batch of counterfeit top-grade qi cultivation liquid rampant within the Green Cloud sect territory recently. According to reliable sources, it is likely the work of the Bloodbat Palace. They manufacture a large quantity of counterfeit top-grade qi cultivation liquid to deceive martial artists for their money. Not only is this medicine ineffective, but it also contains some toxicity, leading to many deaths. If your Chen family gets deceived and sells fake top-grade qi cultivation liquid, causing casualties, the consequences would be unbearable. Upon hearing this, Chen Silin's heart skipped a beat. She couldn't help but waver a little. Zhu Jianshan continued, Miss Chen, take out a bottle of the top-grade qi cultivation liquid made by this fake soul master and compare it with mine. You will know whether it is real or fake. This. Chen Silin bit her red lips slightly. Doing this would mean suspecting Jiang Fan. When Lu Kimin heard this, her face changed dramatically, feeling the situation was severe, and said, sighing, what are you hesitating for? Your father is seriously ill in bed, you can't afford to make any mistakes. Thus, Chen Silin hesitated for a moment, then gritted her teeth, took out a bottle of just exchanged top-grade qi cultivation liquid, and walked over, saying, how do we compare them? Smelling the intoxicating fragrance from Chen Silin, Zhu Jianshan couldn't help but feel restless. If he unmasked the fake soul master, it would be equivalent to saving the entire Chen family. By then, even if Chen Silin had to commit herself to him, the Chen family would have no objections, right? Suppressing the restless evil fire in his heart, Zhu Jianshan took out 2 gray-brown seeds. These are spirit-finding flower seeds. They are very sensitive to spiritual energy and are usually used to precisely distinguish the grade of qi cultivation liquid. Just watering them with a bottle of qi cultivation liquid will make them emit different height sprouts based on the absorbed spiritual energy. Thus, determining the quality of the qi cultivation liquid. Pausing for a moment, Zhu Jianshan glanced at the qi cultivation liquid in Chen Silin's palm and said, of course, if it's fake qi cultivation liquid, the seed will not move at all. If Miss Chen doesn't have any other questions, let's begin. Zhu Jianshan first opened his top-grade qi cultivation liquid, feeling very reluctant. He hadn't even been willing to drink it himself. But if he could save the Chen family and win over Chen Silin, a great beauty, this bottle would be worth it. Gritting his teeth, he poured an entire bottle of qi cultivation liquid onto a seed. After 3 breaths, a miraculous scene occurred. The seed swelled, cracked, sprouted, and grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. In less than 10 breaths, it grew into a 3-inch tall, lush green sprout. Zhu Jianshan said, 1 inch means low-grade qi cultivation liquid, 2 inches is mid-grade qi cultivation liquid, 3 inches is authentic top-grade qi cultivation liquid. Miss Chen, it's your turn. Chen Silin was a bit nervous. If it was fake, what should she do? Should she uphold justice for Xu Yining and take down Jiang Fan? Lu Kimin urged with concern, sighing. What are you hesitating for? Helpless. Chen Silin had to bite her red lips and hesitantly pour the qi cultivation liquid onto the seed. Then, her crystal-clear eyes stared unblinkingly at the seed. In her heart, she silently prayed that it must be real. If not, the Chen family would be doomed. Not only would they be unable to surpass the Qin family, but they would also have to pay a heavy price for the previously sold fake top-grade qi cultivation liquid. Zhu Jianshan, on the other hand, looked relaxed, with a victorious smile on his lips. Even with simple logic, it was obvious that this bottle must be fake. After all, there was only 1 second-grade soul master within the Green Cloud sect territory. 3 breaths passed. The seed indeed remained motionless. Chen Silin's heart skipped a beat and ached faintly. Her beautiful face visibly showed signs of panic. What she feared most had happened. It turned out to be fake. Xu Jianshan smiled slightly, revealing the demeanor of a benefactor, saying, Miss Chen, fortunately, I appeared in time. The Chen family is not deeply affected yet, and there is still room for maneuver. Lu Qimin's body swayed, almost unable to stand, her face turning pale. She hurriedly said to Xu Jianshan, thanks to young Master Xu, otherwise, our Chen family would be doomed. You have done our Chen family a great favor. Please accept my bow. She was about to kneel down. Xu Jianshan courteously helped her up and said, Aunt, you are too kind. I got along well with Silin and couldn't bear to see her fall into the crime of the family, so I helped. Everyone could understand his implication. Lu Qimin was also delighted. If her daughter got the favor of a disciple from the Green Cloud sect and it turned into a marriage, it would be the best possible outcome. She hurriedly said, sighing, shouldn't you thank young Master Xu? Chen Silin was still in shock from the drastic turn of events, dazedly saying, thank you, young Master Xu. Lu Qimin deliberately tried to matchmake them and scolded, is this the way to thank someone? She held Chen Silin's hand and placed it in Xu Jianshan's palm, smiling, take young Master Xu and have a good walk in our garden. Only then, Chen Silin suddenly came to her senses and quickly withdrew her hand, saying, Mother. What are you doing? Lu Qimin simply spoke straightforwardly, sighing, young Master Xu sacrificed a bottle of authentic top-grade qi cultivation liquid for you, isn't his affection clear? She grabbed Chen Silin's hand again, saying, besides, young Master Xu saved our entire Chen family, saving dozens of lives. Isn't it right for you to express your gratitude to him properly? Chen Silin continued to struggle. But it was very feeble. Because Xu Jianshan indeed had a great favor. Just as she was about to be handed over to Xu Jianshan, she suddenly glimpsed something from the corner of her eye and quickly shook off Lu Qimin's hand, exclaiming. It moved. The seed moved. Chapter 26, The Lethality of the Beauty Restore Pill. What? Lu Qimin and Zhang Yushu looked over simultaneously, both surprised, it's really moving. Xu Jianshan also looked over in amazement. The previously motionless seed started to wobble as it swelled. He was both shocked and secretly furious. Just when the beauty was about to be in his grasp, the seed reacted. His current mood was like being abruptly interrupted at the height of passion. Feeling particularly displeased, he snorted. Even if it's moving, it doesn't mean anything. It only shows that the fake qi cultivation liquid contains a bit of spiritual energy. However, just as he finished speaking, the seed, having swelled to the extreme, cracked and sprouted. A verdant green shoot grew rapidly. 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches. Chen Silin's face suddenly burst with joy and exclaimed excitedly, Mother! 3 inches. It's 3 inches. It's really top-grade qi cultivation liquid. He didn't deceive us. Xu Jianshan couldn't believe it. How is this possible? How could there be a second-grade soul master within the Green Cloud sect? Could it be that he got his top-grade qi cultivation liquid from the black market in Green Cloud sect? He thought about it and arrived at only one explanation. But at this moment, Chen Silin suddenly covered her mouth and exclaimed, wait. It's still growing. Everyone stared intently, and indeed, the shoot continued to grow slowly until it reached 3.5 inches before it slowly stopped. Chen Silin clenched her fists in excitement and said, 3.5 inches. Does this mean that our family senior's top-grade qi cultivation liquid is of a higher quality than that of the soul masters from Green Cloud sect? Upon hearing this, Zhang Yushu was also shocked and said, Shen, didn't you say that this soul master from the Chen family was a fake? Why is it that the top-grade qi cultivation liquid he refined isn't just real, but it's also stronger than the one from Green Cloud sect? This question stumped Xu Jianshan. He looked into the secret chamber where the unknown second-grade soul master was, no longer daring to show any disrespect. All he felt was awe. However, the confidence with which he had made his earlier assertions now seemed like a slap in his own face. Unwillingly, he muttered softly, even if he is a second-grade soul master, it doesn't necessarily mean he's better than the ones from our Green Cloud sect. The soul masters of our Green Cloud sect are veterans who have gone through numerous battles. Perhaps this senior just happened to refine a slightly better batch of top-grade qi cultivation liquid. At this, Even Chen Silin, who had deep respect and admiration for Jiang Fan, did not see any issue. The Soul Master seniors of the Green Cloud sect were renowned figures. They had refined countless spirit pills in their lifetime. In contrast, Jiang Fan was still young. Just a single bottle of Qi cultivation liquid was far from enough to prove that he surpassed the seniors of Green Cloud sect. But at this moment, a dull sound suddenly echoed from the closed secret chamber. A wisp of faint red smoke drifted out, spreading into the air, instantly filled the courtyard with an enchanting fragrance of medicinal herbs. Just by inhaling a breath, the faces of Zhang Yusho and Lu Qimin, two middle-aged women, showed a look of fascination. What is this? It somewhat resembles beauty pills, but the fragrance is much more superior. As noblewomen of Lonely Boat City, they had always used expensive beauty pills. So they immediately recognized the type of medicinal fragrance. However, compared to this fragrance, the high-end beauty products they were used to seemed extremely inferior. Xu Jianshan looked puzzled. The Soul Master seniors of Green Cloud sect once said that the higher the grade of the pills, the more intense the fragrance when they are refined. Miss Chen, what kind of pills is this senior refining? Chen Silin was also stunned. Staring unblinkingly at the secret chamber, she said in a tone of disbelief, he said he was refining beauty restore pills. Xu Jianshan had never heard of this pill before. Zhang Yusho was shocked and exclaimed, the legendary pill that can turn white hair black and rejuvenate the skin, beauty restore pill. Lu Qimin trembled with excitement, sighing, you mustn't say such things lightly. This is a third-grade spirit pill. No one in the world can refine it. This kind of legendary pill had a devastating allure for women, especially those who were older. No one could resist. Chen Silin said, the senior took away the Forget River bean, said he wanted to refine beauty restore pills, and promised to give me one as payment for the materials. Just not sure if the one refined now is the beauty restore pill. Upon hearing this, Lu Qimin excitedly grasped Chen Silin's shoulders. Did he really say he would give you one? Great, great, great. My good daughter, you have given me an immense surprise. Handing over the family business to you was the best decision of my life. Chen Silin's eye twitched slightly. When her father was seriously ill, and the family members recommended Chen Silin take over the family business, her mother was the first to oppose. She thought Chen Silin was too young and that the family business should be managed by herself, the main lady. But since she never actually took part in managing the business, the family members worried she wouldn't be able to handle it and insisted on letting Chen Silin take charge. This caused a rift between the mother and daughter. Now, with a beauty restore pill, her mother's attitude changed 180 degrees instantly. Zhang Yusho, on the other hand, became anxious. The thought of someone else having a miraculous item like the beauty restore pill when she did not was more unbearable than death. Sighing, my dear, you must help auntie get one too. No matter the price, I'm willing to pay. Chen Silin immediately shook her head, such a Soul Master senior isn't someone who will heed my request so easily. I can only ask whether the senior is willing to sell one to you. Upon hearing this, Zhang Yusho was overjoyed and hurriedly took off the valuable jade bracelet on her wrist, stuffing it into Chen Silin's hand. My dear, auntie is counting on you. As long as you pled on my behalf, regardless of the outcome, this jade bracelet is yours. Chen Silin was startled. This bracelet was worth 10,000 taels of silver. She hurriedly waved her hands. No, no, I can't accept it. It's too valuable. Clack. At this moment, the stone door of the secret chamber opened. Amid the faint red smoke, Jiang Fan looked at the 3 crimson beauty restore pills in his palm. The best one among them was a top-grade beauty restore pill. The other 2 were low-grade beauty restore pills. He planned to use the top-grade beauty restore pill as part of the betrothal gift. As for the remaining 2 pills, one was promised to Chen Silin, and the other one could be sold. He just didn't know how much it was worth. Thinking of this, he stored away one top-grade and one low-grade beauty restore pill, and put the last beauty restore pill into a jade bottle and walked out of the secret chamber. Only then did he notice that besides Chen Silin, there were 3 others in the yard. One of whom was Xu Jianshan, the Green Cloud sect disciple who had competed with him for the betrothal gift just the day before. Senior, how did the refining go? Chen Silin asked cautiously. Jiang Fan smiled and tossed the jade bottle in his hand to her. This is yours. Chen Silin took it and immediately felt the extraordinary nature of the pill even through the jade bottle. Beauty Restore Pill. Lu Qimin snatched it over excitedly and examined it closely. That's right. It's exactly like the Beauty Restore Pill illustration your grandfather once drew. I've seen it countless times. Daughter, may I have it? Chen Silin was speechless. She had no doubt that if she dared to say no, Lu Qimin would disown her on the spot. You better ask the senior. Chen Silin didn't dare make the decision. Jiang Fan said indifferently, since it's given to you, you can decide for yourself. Then, he started to leave. Zhang Yusho quickly bowed deeply and respectfully said, Senior, may I ask if you have any extra beauty restore pills? Chen Silin also immediately spoke up, Senior, this is Mrs. Zhu, her son is a Green Cloud sect disciple. Could you sell her a beauty restore pill? Oh. Zhu Jianshan's mother. Jiang Fan smiled meaningfully and then left. Zhu Jianshan, with a nearly worshipful fervor in his eyes, rushed to block Jiang Fan's way and knelt down with a thud. Green Cloud sect disciple Zhu Jianshan pays respects to the senior. Chapter 27. The ladies have gone crazy. This was a soul master capable of refining third-grade spirit pills. This meant his rank was third grade. A rare third-grade soul master. In front of him, the second-grade soul masters of the Green Cloud sect bowed their heads and addressed themselves as disciples. This was an intimidating, peerless powerhouse. If he didn't seize the opportunity, he would deserve to live in the lowest tier of the martial world forever. Jiang Fan looked down at him and said indifferently, What is it? Zhu Jianshan's heart raced wildly, and he stammered, Senior, I admire the Soul Master path. I am willing to offer all the Zhu family's wealth if you would take me as your disciple. Though it was abrupt, Zhu Jianshan understood that meeting a third-grade Soul Master was like hitting the jackpot. To utter a word with him was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If he didn't speak quickly, he might lose the chance forever. Jiang Fan laughed. First, he tried to steal my woman, then he knelt down to beg to be my disciple. He straightforwardly said, You are not qualified. With that, he started to leave. Zhang Yusho panicked and slapped Zhu Jianshan, scolding, Are you crazy? Don't you see your own status? How dare you try to cling to a senior? A third-grade soul master, was that something their little Zhu family could attach themselves to? Even the Green Cloud sect master would kneel before such a peerless figure. A regular disciple of the Green Cloud sect wanted to become his disciple. He looked like a clown. Moreover, he angered the senior, jeopardizing their chance to get the beauty restore pill. She hurriedly chased after him, bowing repeatedly and apologizing, Senior, I'm sorry, my son has never seen the world. Please forgive him. About the beauty restore pill, could you please show some leniency? Chen Silin also cast a disdainful glance at Zhu Jianshan. Didn't he have any self-awareness? To want to be a disciple upon first meeting. It was sheer madness. She then respectfully looked at Jiang Fan, and softly said, Senior, could you extend our Chen family some courtesy and please sell one more beauty restore pill? I'm sure Mrs. Zhu is willing to pay any price. Upon hearing this, Zhang Yusho felt immense gratitude. Just with this sentence, she knew her jade bracelet worth 10,000 taels hadn't been given to Chen Silin in vain. Oh, Jiang Fan pondered. The beauty restore pill seemed even more popular than he had expected. Lu Qimin and Zhang Yusho, the two top ladies of Lonely Boat City, were so fervent. After a slight consideration, Jiang Fan took out a low-grade beauty restore pill and said, Indeed, there's still one bottle. However, I'm not sure about its value. If I ask too high, Mrs. Zhu would suffer, too low, I would suffer. Let's do this. Hold a bidding auction, and the highest bidder wins. With that, he threw the beauty restore pill to Chen Silin. I'll leave it to your Chen family to organize. This action nearly made Chen Silin scream. She quickly ran to catch it with both hands. This was a beauty restore pill. To toss it casually like an ordinary item, if it were to break, what a loss that would be. Yet, she immediately showed immense gratitude, exclaiming, Rest assured, Senior, we'll definitely hold a grand auction. A third-grade spirit pill, and an incredibly rare beauty restore pill at that. Once auctioned, what a commotion it would cause. At least the noblewomen of Lonely Boat City would be restless. By then, the scene. Chen Silin felt a surge of excitement. This was an excellent opportunity to elevate the status of the Chen family. After Jiang Fan left, Zhang Yusho lamented, "Alas! If it's an auction, I might not win this pill. Those old women would be willing to offer their husbands and sons for the beauty restore pill." Chen Silin covered her mouth and giggled. At the same time, Lu Qimin, with a look of satisfaction, swallowed the beauty restore pill. In front of everyone, her gray hair turned black, the wrinkles on her face smoothed out at a visible speed, and her skin became white and tender. In her 40s, she transformed, looking like a youthful woman in her early 30s. Standing with Chen Silin, they appeared more like sisters than mother and daughter. In just a few breaths, a middle-aged woman became a youthful one. Such a world-shattering transformation stunned Zhang Yusho. This is the effect of the beauty restore pill. Her breath quickened, and she pulled Zhu Jianshan up. "Let's go. Go home immediately and prepare the money. No matter the cost, I must win this beauty restore pill. I must." As for the critical matter of her son's marriage to Xu Yining, she had already thrown it beyond the nine-layered heaven. When Jiang Fan returned home, Xu Yining was anxiously searching for him. Fan, did you hear? The Chen family is preparing to auction a beauty restore pill." Her face was full of surprise. The whole noblewomen's circle in Lonely Boat City is buzzing with it. Even the city lord's wife declared she must get it. For this, she even had a fierce argument with the city lord. Really? Jiang Fan touched his nose. He hadn't even reached home, yet news had spread throughout the city. Moreover, the beauty restore pill's appeal was indeed too immense. Seeing Xu Yining's astonished expression, Jiang Fan asked in surprise, "Do you also want the beauty restore pill?" Xu Yining was in the prime of her youth and beauty, it would be of no use to her. "How could I dare think that?" Xu Yining laughed and cried, "With so many noblewomen vying for it, what am I? I just thought of father. Over the years, he has exhausted himself for the Xu family, aging rapidly." Jiang Fan nodded slightly. He recalled that when he came to the Xu family 10 years ago, Xu Zhengyan was still a vigorous middle-aged man with bright eyes. 10 years later, he was worn out and haggard. Standing with the well-maintained Wang Yingfeng, they looked like people of two different age groups. "It will happen." Jiang Fan smiled knowingly. Xu Yining sighed, "Don't speak so casually, it's not something I can even touch." While they were conversing, Xu Zhengyan appeared out of nowhere, standing at a corner, and quietly beckoned them over. The two walked over in surprise. Xu Zhengyan confirmed there was no one around and carefully took out a bundle of silver notes. The large ones were 10,000 taels, the small ones 100 taels. Sparsely, it amounted to 10,000 taels in total. He stuffed them all into Xu Yining's hands. "Father, what's this?" Xu Yining asked in astonishment. Xu Zhengyan's eyes showed a trace of guilt. "These are the private savings I've accumulated over the years. I intended to secretly give them to you after your marriage, to help you and your husband live well. I didn't expect your stepmother to demand such exorbitant betrothal gifts. Take this money, go to the Chen family's auction tomorrow, and bid for that beauty restore pill." Xu Zhengyan sighed. "Your stepmother is now in a frenzy, determined to get that beauty restore pill. If you use it as a betrothal gift, even if she disagrees with your marriage, she will endure it for the pill." Xu Yining was speechless, looking at Xu Zhengyan's aged appearance. Tears of emotion welled up in her eyes. She never thought Xu Zhengyan cared for her. She thought he only cared about her sister, Xu Yining. "Tomorrow, accompany Yining and try to win it. I hope, ultimately, that you will marry Yining." Xu Zhengyan patted Jiang Fan's shoulder, showing rare approval. After speaking, he looked around and quietly left. Jiang Fan felt a sense of comfort, so, he still has his eldest daughter in his heart. Just that, for the family's interest, he had to care more for the younger daughter. This future father-in-law wasn't entirely useless. However, looking at the silver notes in Xu Yining's hands, Jiang Fan's forehead was full of black lines. Spending money to bid on his own item. Who would believe it if told? Chapter 28. The one who should leave is you. The next day, Jiang Fan left the house with Xu Yining, feeling both amused and helpless, and they arrived at the treasure pavilion. Today's auction was to be held inside the treasure pavilion. Just as the two arrived, two people hurriedly walked up behind them. It was Wang Yingfeng, accompanied by Xu Yining. Seeing Jiang Fan and Xu Yining, Wang Yingfeng was visibly taken aback, then frowned and said, "Are you here to bid for the beauty restore pill as well?" Xu Yining bowed slightly and nodded. Wang Yingfeng, still holding a grudge against Jiang Fan for the embarrassment he had caused her, snorted, "Don't think that just because you know Chen Silin, you can secure the beauty restore pill. Soon, you'll witness the true strength of the Xu family." With that, she and Xu Yining quickly walked into the treasure pavilion. Jiang Fan sighed lightly and said, "Yoren, having someone like her in the Xu family is a curse, not a blessing. The Xu family didn't even think of using the family's resources when the Qin family was demanding repayment. Yet, she's willing to use the family's resources just to preserve her looks." Xu Yining pursed her lips. Over the years, Xu Zhengyan had been secretly saving up his pocket money, reluctant to spend it frivolously. But Wang Yingfeng, for the sake of her appearance, squandered the family's money recklessly. However, what could she do about it? "Let's go, we'll do our best to bid for the beauty restore pill." The two walked in side by side. Her stunning beauty, like a crane among chickens, immediately drew everyone's attention. Yoren, you're here too." Xu Jianshan, sitting in the front row, immediately smiled and quickly approached. Seeing Jiang Fan beside her, his expression immediately turned sour. "Do you belong in a place like this? Do you know what's happening here? This is an auction for the beauty restore pill." Jiang Fan shook his head and wrote, "If it weren't for young Master Zhu's reminder, I really wouldn't have known." Reading the obviously mocking words, Xu Jianshan grew even more displeased. "You pretentious fool. Do you think possessing 510,000 taels and standing in the auction room means you can stand on equal footing with me? Do you see the seating arrangement here? Here, the seating arrangement represents identity, status, and foundation." He shouted confidently. "My Xu family sits in the front row, whereas you don't even have the right to sit, you can only stand. Shaming yourself is one thing, but taking Yoren down with you." As he spoke, he turned and looked at Xu Yining, ignoring her cold expression, and smiled, "Yoren, come sit with the Xu family. My mother also wants to meet you." He even reached out, trying to pull Xu Yining over. Jiang Fan unobtrusively stood in front of him, blocking his dirty hand, and wrote, "No need, my Yoren prefers to stand." "Right, Yoren." Xu Yining smiled and nodded, affectionately holding onto Jiang Fan's arm. This caused Xu Jianshan's eyes to narrow. He considered Xu Yining his woman. How could he tolerate another man touching her? At this moment, the shopkeeper of the treasure pavilion happened to walk by. He immediately called out, "Shopkeeper Qin." Seeing it was the young master of the Xu family, a disciple of the Green Cloud sect, Shopkeeper Qin quickly bowed respectfully, "Young Master Xu, your esteemed presence brings glory to our humble pavilion." Xu Jianshan straightened up and said, "I'm here to support the treasure pavilion today, but I don't like this person. Please, have him removed." Shopkeeper Qin turned to see who he was pointing at and was stunned. It was Jiang Fan, Xu Yining's fiancé. Feeling troubled, he said, "Young Master Xu, Miss Xu is a friend of our eldest lady. How can I drive away her fiancé?" What? He couldn't even drive away a good-for-nothing. This made Xu Jianshan lose face. Furious, he said, "If he doesn't leave, then I will." Not wanting to offend Xu Jianshan, Shopkeeper Qin hastily bowed, "Young Master Xu, please wait. I'll go consult the eldest lady immediately." Watching his hurried departure, Xu Jianshan glared at Jiang Fan, "You dog. I'll show you the Xu family's strength. Soon you'll realize just how insignificant you are against my Xu family's might." Xu Yining couldn't help but show a trace of anxiety. Though Chen Silin was her close friend, she also bore the weight of the Chen family's great undertaking. A powerful family like the Xu family wasn't something she could easily offend. If things went badly, she might really kick Jiang Fan out. Soon after, Shopkeeper Qin returned swiftly. However, he looked a bit oddly at Jiang Fan as he bowed to young Master Xu and hesitated. "The eldest lady has given her instructions." Xu Jianshan, hands behind his back, smirked coldly, "Did you hear that, Jiang Fan? Get lost." But to his surprise, Shopkeeper Qin said, "The eldest lady asked young Master Xu to leave." "Ah." Xu Jianshan was stunned, pointing at himself in disbelief. "Me? Leave? You must be mistaken." No matter how much Chen Silin disliked him, he was still the real young master of the Xu family. Between him and a good-for-nothing, Chen Silin sided with the good-for-nothing. However, even more unacceptable to Xu Jianshan was shopkeeper Qin saying, also, the eldest lady said. The Xu family is requested to vacate their seats for young Master Jiang and Miss Xu to sit. What? Xu Jianshan was shocked. How is that possible? Shopkeeper Qin, helpless, said, the eldest lady personally instructed, and I dare not disobey. Someone, clear out the Xu family's seats. Several Treasure Pavilion staff immediately moved in and cleared out the Xu family members from the front row. Zhang Yusho was baffled. Shopkeeper Qin, what's going on? Shopkeeper Qin, exasperated, explained the situation. Upon hearing this, Zhang Yusho glared at Jiang Fan angrily. So you're Jiang Fan, the one vying for a woman with my son. Using your acquaintance with Chen Silin to oppress others. Fine, mark my words. Tomorrow is the day for the betrothal gifts. I will see with my own eyes what betrothal gifts you have to surpass my Xu family. With that, she led the Xu family members to the last row, looking humiliated. Jiang Fan simply shrugged, sitting in the front row's VIP seat under the envious eyes of the entire hall. Watching the whole scene unfold, Chen Silin couldn't help but shake her head. I really feel sorry for the Xu family. Of all the people to target, you chose Jiang Fan. He's the very person whom you mother and son revere like a god. Chen Silin sighed softly to herself. Seeing that all the guests had gathered, she led 10 young women in red dresses, each carrying several trays covered with red cloth, to the stage. Her dazzling attire, beautiful face, and elegant demeanor immediately quieted the crowd. Thank you, distinguished guests, for attending today's auction. I apologize for the short notice and any inconvenience caused. As a gesture of apology, Silin has decided to offer 9 of the Chen family's prized possessions at bargain prices, to be sold to the highest bidder as usual. Jiang Fan couldn't help but smirk. Using the fame of the beauty restore pill to sell more high-priced items while pretending it was an apology. One must admit, Chen Silin was very suited for business. Therefore, although the guests were eager to bid on the beauty restore pill, they patiently endured, captivated by her eloquent speech. He couldn't help but admire Chen Silin. Chen Silin also noticed Jiang Fan's gaze, feeling a wave of joy in her heart. Just as Jiang Fan was closely observing, a faint voice sounded in his ear, "Are you two hiding something from me?" Chapter 29 Picking Up a Bargain. Jiang Fan awkwardly withdrew his gaze and said, "I was just admiring her commercial talent, I didn't mean anything else." Xu Yining sternly said, "I didn't suspect you. I suspect Chen Silin, she seems to be overly fond of you." For Jiang Fan, she was willing to drive out the Xu family. What exactly was Chen Silin after that made her willing to go to such lengths for Jiang Fan? Jiang Fan, feeling guilty, said, "I don't understand either." Xu Yining glanced at Jiang Fan and said, "I also don't know what she likes about you. Don't be fooled by her approachable manner, her standards for choosing a future husband are quite high. I really didn't expect her to like you this much." Jiang Fan's lips twitched. Why hadn't he noticed before that she was so good at putting people down? She didn't even need to use a single swear word throughout. As Chen Silin finished her opening explanation, she decisively unveiled the red cloth from the first tray, revealing a spirit grass that could extend one's life. It's rarely seen on the market. Jiang Fan finally understood what wealthy ladies meant. Though it's only worth 10,000 taels, the wealthy ladies didn't care about the price exceeding its market value to show off their status, competing fiercely. Finally, it was sold at the high price of 15,000 taels. Chen Silin was overjoyed, once again casting a grateful look at Jiang Fan. If it weren't for the beauty restore pill presiding, gathering so many wealthy ladies for an auction would have been nearly impossible. A regular spirit grass could never have sold for such a sky-high price of 15,000 taels. Then, she successively displayed several more rare items. She was very clever, selling not only treasures needed by women, such as high-grade rouge, whitening pills, and so on. She also thoughtfully prepared treasures needed by elderly, men, and children, such as life-extending spirit grass, kidney-tonifying spirit pills, height-promoting spiritual liquid, and more. The wealthy ladies were also very willing to pay. The reason was simple. By silencing the members of their families, they could spend lavishly on the beauty restore pill without any objections from home. So, by the time the 8th item was auctioned off, Chen Silin had already made a net profit of 50,000 taels of silver, equivalent to the Chen family's past year's income. This made her ecstatic. This auction not only increased the Chen family's prestige, but the real gold and silver in hand were astronomical numbers. But she also knew when to stop. She unveiled the covering of the 9th item, that bottle of beauty restore pill that all the wealthy ladies in the city scrambled for. With wisdom flashing in her eyes, Chen Silin said, "This bottle of beauty restore pill, I won't give much of an introduction. I'll have my mother explain it to everyone." The transformed Lu Qimin, dressed in a light red long dress, slightly applied makeup, and wearing simple jewelry, appeared young again, looking like she was in her 20s. Her appearance stunned many wealthy ladies. "Is she Mrs. Chen?" "Impossible, we just saw her the other day, she wasn't like this." "She is Lu Qimin, you must be mistaken." "Oh my gosh, she looks more than 10 years younger, like she's 20 years younger." Zhang Yusho exclaimed. Even having witnessed Lu Qimin's transformation firsthand, she almost didn't recognize her. This made her even more envious and she shouted, "No need for an introduction, 200,000 taels, I'll buy it." "What? Starting at 200,000? Wang Yingfeng was shocked. She had only prepared 300,000, thinking that if she was lucky, she might be able to get it. Gritting her teeth, she decided to try, "3." Before she could finish, a determined voice sounded. 400,000. It was the city lord's wife. She forcefully called out the price, looked at Lu Qimin, then looked at the beauty restore pill, her eyes burning. 500,000. An elderly lady from another prominent family called out without hesitation. 600,000. 700,000. 800,000. As the price continued to rise, Chen Silin's jaw dropped, and she murmured, "This is crazy." She simply couldn't understand how a beauty restore pill could have such a huge allure. Wang Yingfeng's eyes were wide open, holding onto her pitiable 300,000 taels of silver, feeling utterly bitter. She completely underestimated the appeal of the beauty restore pill. 1 million. Zhang Yusho called out, voicing an earth-shattering price. Beside her, Zhu Jianshan was dumbfounded and urgently said, "Mother, are you mad? 1 million, even the Zhu family could not bear such a cost. Spending so much for a beauty restore pill was an immense loss." "Shut up." Zhang Yusho's eyes were filled with anger as she glanced around. Anyone else? 1 million was simply too much. Even the city lord's wife reconsidered and reluctantly gave up. Given her stance, it was clear what the other wealthy ladies would do. All of them clenched their teeth and painfully withdrew. 1.1 million, young Master Jiang bids 1.1 million. At this moment, Jiang Fan, sitting in the front row, crossed his legs, nonchalantly raised his sign. After all, the resurrection pill was his. No matter how high the bid, it didn't matter, at worst no one would compete and the pill would return to him. When Zhu Jianshan heard it was Jiang Fan who bid, he angrily shouted, "Do you even have the money to shout here?" Chen Silin furrowed her brows and spoke on Jiang Fan's behalf, "Whether the guest has money or not, we at the treasure pavilion will check with the bidders afterward. For those who make false bids, we at the treasure pavilion will not let them off." Over the years, no one dared to cause trouble at the treasure pavilion. The wealthy ladies nodded one after another. At such a high-level auction, causing trouble recklessly was akin to courting death. Chen Silin continued, 1.1 million, once. 1.2 million. Zhang Yusho glared at Jiang Fan and gritted her teeth. 1.2 million was quite a burden for the Zhu family. Some properties would need to be sold to raise that much money. 1.3 million. Young Master Jiang bids 1.3 million. Chen Silin looked at Jiang Fan's raised sign and shouted excitedly. Zhang Yusho was furious, this guy was out to get her. She considered giving up to teach Jiang Fan a harsh lesson, but thinking of Lu Qimin's transformation, she hardened her resolve again. 1.4 million. If you bid again, I'll let you have it. Jiang Fan pursed his lips and stopped bidding. The money he had on him was exactly 1.3 million. Zhu Jianshan plopped down on the ground, his eyes darkened and he said, 1.4 million. He never dreamt that this pill would cost 1.4 million. This had already hurt the Zhu family's yuan energy. 1 million was already the limit. The extra 400,000 was nearly fatal. And these 400,000 were due to Jiang Fan's malicious bidding. Chen Silin was overjoyed and immediately completed the transaction with them. However, the auction hadn't ended yet. Chen Silin unveiled the red cloth of the last item, revealing a 3-foot-long piece of wood, as thick as an arm. It was charred black all over, with traces of thunderbolt scorched marks. Many people recognized it. Thunderstruck wood. Can this be considered a collectible? A wealthy lady questioned. Thunderstruck wood is the charred remains after a thunderbolt strike. It has some value, but not very high. It's not rare on the market. With some effort, you can still buy it from several material shops. Chen Silin said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Silin placed this last for a reason. My grandfather saw with his own eyes a giant tree that had gained sentience and was capturing passers-by, drawing their blood. A colorful heavenly thunderbolt struck down, burning it to leave only this piece. It's definitely different from ordinary thunderstruck wood, but my grandfather studied it for many years without finding anything. If any of you believe it has fate with you, you can buy it back and continue studying it." Upon hearing this, many wealthy ladies got up to leave, losing interest. In an instant, more than half of the people had left. Chen Silin smiled bitterly. It seemed that no one wanted this piece of thunderstruck wood. "My fiancé bids 10,000. At this moment, Xu Yining reluctantly shouted. Beside her, Jiang Fan held up a sign with 10,000 taels of silver, his eyes glinting as he stared at the thunderstruck wood. He could hardly believe it. The thunder-patterned spiritual wood, described in the Taiyan soul technique, actually existed. Chapter 30 Plant Essence. Huh. The noblewomen were stunned. There really are fools willing to buy it. And they started at 10,000 taels of silver. It's just ordinary thunderstruck wood. Too young. Chen Silin is a merchant. He makes up an unverifiable story, and they believe him. Xu Yining, upon hearing it was Jiang Fan, immediately felt furious. He was about to raise the bid. Because of Jiang Fan, the Xu family had overpaid by 400,000 taels, and he wanted Jiang Fan to pay the price. He noticed, however, that Jiang Fan was looking at him with a slight smile. Xu Yining suddenly realized, that filthy scoundrel, trying to trick the Xu family's money again. Almost fell for it. He quickly closed his mouth, crossed his arms over his chest, and smirked at Jiang Fan's performance. Chen Silin was taken aback, not expecting Jiang Fan to bid. After inquiring 3 times with no one willing to compete for the worthless thunderstruck wood, it sold for 10,000 taels of silver. Young Master Jiang, did you perhaps see something special in this piece of thunderstruck wood? Chen Silin couldn't help but ask curiously. From a distance, Xu Yining sneered, anything special. Just that no one got tricked this time, and he became the fool. Ha ha ha. Wang Yingfeng also snorted in displeasure, embarrassing. Spending 10,000 taels of silver on a piece of broken wood. Outrageous. Xu Yining indifferently gazed at Jiang Fan, just a nouveau riche, does he really think he can afford to throw money around? Xu Yining silently criticized as well. 10,000 taels. For a piece of broken wood. She couldn't understand why Jiang Fan would buy it at such a high price. On stage, Jiang Fan accepted the thunderstruck wood and slightly nodded as he wrote, it's indeed not ordinary wood. Though it appears insignificant, it hides something valuable. After speaking, he discreetly used powerful soul power to probe deep into the thunderstruck wood, forcing out tiny drops of emerald green liquid that were invisible to the naked eye. He collected them one by one with a jade bottle. A moment later, when no more emerald green droplets remained, the jade bottle was full, emitting a deep fragrance. Xu Yining sniffed it and immediately stood up, exclaiming, plant essence. It's plant essence. Xu Yining also recognized it and quickly came over, looking shocked, it's indeed plant essence. Some experienced noblewomen were also filled with shock. Plant essence is said to be the accumulated essence of plants that have become spirits over the years. When a martial artist in the qi cultivation realm consumes it, they can directly break through a realm. Even a cultivator in the foundation establishment realm can significantly enhance their cultivation with it. It's a divine object that's hard to find even for 1,000,000 taels outside. And he got it for just 10,000 taels. A single bottle is enough for 4 people to break through. These words made the noblewomen's eyes light up. This young master, my Jiang family is willing to offer 400,000 taels of silver for just 1/3 of the plant essence. When reaching the 6th layer of qi cultivation, without top-notch spirit roots, breaking through each level required astronomical resources. Spending just 400,000 taels to break through a level was an unbeatable bargain. Xu Yining regretted deeply, feeling like slapping himself. Such a rare plant essence, and he missed it even when it was right in front of him. Gritting his teeth, he said, "Jiang Fan. Give me this bottle, and we will settle our grievances." Jiang Fan smirked and wrote, "I actually prefer having grievances between us." Xu Yining was furious, stomping his foot fiercely. "Fine. Fine. You just wait. We'll see who triumphs tomorrow at the gift presentation." With that, he stormed off in anger. Facing the noblewomen's purchase requests, Jiang Fan politely declined, leaving them in disappointment. "Jiang Fan, you got something valuable, shouldn't you leave some for our Xu family?" Wang Yingfeng jealously pulled Xu Yining over, righteously saying, "You've been eating and drinking from the Xu family these years. You should have a conscience, do you understand? I'm not asking for a lot, just 1/4 of that bottle of plant essence for our Xu family." Upon hearing this, Chen Silin rolled her eyes. Even though she was an outsider, she knew how poorly the Xu family had treated Jiang Fan over the years. They never treated him as a lifesaver. They even broke a previously promised marriage arrangement. And now they dare speak of conscience. Xu Yining was also irritated. Wang Yingfeng was too bullying. She frowned, this is Fan's own money, his own earned skill. Why should he give it to the Xu family? Fan, don't listen to her. Xu Yining, also embarrassed by Wang Yingfeng, murmured, "Mother, why do we need his things? I'll find my way to enhance my own cultivation." Though she disliked Jiang Fan, she wouldn't simultaneously despise him and covet his benefits. That would be too shameless. But, to everyone's surprise, Jiang Fan did give away 1/4 of the plant essence. He wrote meaningfully, "Aunt Wang is right. The Xu family has helped me over the past 10 years. A little plant essence is nothing significant." Chen Silin and Xu Yining stomped their feet in frustration. Was Jiang Fan too naive, giving away the precious plant essence so easily? Evidently, Wang Yingfeng wanted it for Xu Yining's consumption. Xu Yining also didn't expect Jiang Fan to be willing to give it. She re-examined Jiang Fan, pondering hard. Apart from some lower aptitudes, he was indeed unassailable. Why did she start disliking him, and when? Wang Yingfeng secretly scorned, "So what if he has 510,000 taels of silver? He's still at my mercy. I asked for part of the plant essence, and he obediently divided it, like a good boy, haha." However, soon Wang Yingfeng's expression turned stiff. Jiang Fan did not hand the 1/4 plant essence to her. Instead, he gave it to Xu Yining, opening her small cherry mouth with one hand and pouring the plant essence into her mouth with the other. Cough, 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 cough. "Fan, what are you doing?" Unprepared, Xu Yining choked. Jiang Fan shrugged and wrote, "Your aunt said so, I must repay the Xu family. Giving this 1/4 of plant essence to the eldest young lady of the Xu family is only fitting, right? All right, stop talking and sit down to cultivate, see if it works as rumored." Xu Yining had much to say, but the plant essence within her had already exploded with overwhelming spiritual energy, making her hastily sit cross-legged for cultivation. With the yellow-level high-grade mental method provided by Jiang Fan, in a blink, she broke through to the 4th layer of qi cultivation. However, it wasn't over, as her cultivation level was low and the medicine was potent. After a short period, she broke through another level, reaching the 5th layer of qi cultivation. Finally, with the last force of plant essence, she advanced to the 5th layer perfection of qi cultivation. With just a few days of quiet cultivation, she could break through to the 6th layer of qi cultivation. This scene left Xu Yining both surprised and envious. Breaking through to the 6th layer of qi cultivation had taken her half a year. But her sister, just because of a bit of plant essence from Jiang Fan, had achieved it. This stark contrast complicated her feelings. She looked at Jiang Fan, biting her red lips, then turned and left. Wang Yingfeng, extremely angry, shouted, "Jiang Fan! How dare you humiliate my daughter like this? Tomorrow, I'll make you pay." Jiang Fan shrugged, and before she left, he took out another 1/4 bottle and handed it to Chen Silin. This bottle is for you. Wang Yingfeng nearly blacked out. Rather give it to an outsider than to her daughter. She would remember this. Chen Silin, startled, said, "This is too precious, I can't accept it." Jiang Fan silently smiled and placed it in her arms. Secretly, he smiled to himself. Who told them that the most valuable thing about the thunder pattern spiritual wood is the plant essence? Its most precious aspect is the material itself. Chapter 31, The Return of the Vice Pavilion Master of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. After witnessing the extraordinary effect of the plant essence, Chen Silin didn't dare to accept it. She hurriedly declined, "I really can't accept this." Xu Yining saw her decline repeatedly and, annoyed, stepped forward, pulled open her collar, and stuffed the plant essence inside. "Don't be polite, after all, you don't consider Fan an outsider." Her words had a double meaning, startling Chen Silin. She quickly explained, "Yoren, listen to me, it's not what you think. The reason I'm polite to Jiang Fan is because. She stammered, unable to continue. Without Jiang Fan's permission, how could she dare reveal his identity as a soul master? "Enough, you're stammering, what's there to explain?" Xu Yining gave her a complicated look. "We've known each other for so many years, don't I know what you're thinking? You like Jiang Fan, that's fine, but he's my fiancé, so keep it in check. I don't want our years of friendship to be ruined over a man." Her words hit the mark, making Chen Silin blush like a steamed crab, so nervous she could hardly speak. You really misunderstood, I really don't." She was about to cry. No matter how she tried to explain, she couldn't make it clear. Xu Yining poked her forehead, "I told you, no need to deny it. We're leaving." She took Jiang Fan's arm and left the auction house with light steps. Some things, rather than burying them in their hearts and causing a rift between them, it's better to be straightforward and set the boundaries in advance. Given Chen Silin's character, now that Xu Yining had made it clear she didn't want Jiang Fan to be disturbed, she would know what to do in the future. Jiang Fan turned back to look at Chen Silin, who had a bitter smile on her face, and puzzled, he asked, "Could it be that you really misunderstood?" Xu Yining firmly said, "No way. She likes you, for sure." Well, but Jiang Fan's intuition told him there had to be some misunderstanding. When they got back home, Jiang Fan also took out a quarter of the plant essence. Sitting cross-legged, he immediately swallowed a bottle. The immense energy contained in the plant essence instantly filled his body, giving him a feeling of swelling. He immediately began to run and refined the pure energy into his own spiritual power. Not long after, his whole body trembled. As expected of the plant essence, I successfully broke through the 8th layer of qi cultivation. Jiang Fan looked delighted. Unfortunately, the plant essence only worked the first time it was consumed. Looking at the last quarter of the plant essence, Jiang Fan put it away. It was still midday. Jiang Fan remembered that the top-grade qi cultivation liquid for today hadn't been delivered to the Chen family yet. And tomorrow was the day for the betrothal gifts, he might not have time to deliver it then. Thinking about this, he decided to refine the top-grade qi cultivation liquid for the next few days all at once. This busy work lasted until late at night. Looking at the over 300 bottles of top-grade qi cultivation liquid in his arms, Jiang Fan, panting, brought his tired body to the Chen family. So many. Chen Silin was stunned. Jiang Fan said, "I have things to do in the next few days, so I won't be coming. As for the money, give it to me after you sell this batch of top-grade qi cultivation liquid." He left after speaking. Chen Silin was secretly grateful, she really couldn't come up with 3 million taels of silver. Luckily, Jiang Fan trusted her. Watching him leave, Chen Silin started counting the top-grade qi cultivation liquid. Suddenly, she was covered by a shadow. Looking up, she was startled. Under the moonlight, a giant eagle circling down to land. On the eagle's back stood a man and a woman. They were Vice Pavilion Master Chen Zhengdao of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion and Lu Qingxian, the daughter of the Sect Master of Green Cloud Sect. The two of them flew down swiftly. Lu Qingxian hurried forward, sizing up Chen Silin, "Are you the Chen family's miss?" Chen Silin, full of vigilance, sternly asked, "Who are you? How dare you trespass on the Chen family's important grounds?" She vaguely felt that the cultivation of these two was extremely powerful. Especially the man, who gave her a feeling of suffocation. Chen Zhengdao, with his hands behind his back, said, I am Chen Zhengdao, Vice Pavilion Master of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, and this is the daughter of the Sect Master of Green Cloud Sect. Ah! Chen Silin was shocked, hurriedly bowing low. Junior Chen Silin greets the two seniors. Her heart beat wildly, and she felt anxious, having no idea why these two powerful figures would appear at the Chen family. Lu Qingxian, in an urgent tone, asked, I heard you hosted an auction today. Is it true that the final auction item was the Beauty Restore pill? The news of the Beauty Restore pill had spread quickly. In just one day, it had spread to the surrounding cities. Upon hearing this, the two hurried to the Chen family to investigate. Because the Beauty Restore pill was a third-grade spirit pill. Only a 3-star soul master could successfully refine such a pill. The appearance of a 3-star soul master in the territory of the Green Cloud sect was no small matter. Upon hearing this, Chen Silin actually felt relieved. Since cooperating with Jiang Fan, she had anticipated that forces would come to her asking about the soul master. So she had already prepared herself mentally. Reporting to Senior Lu, it is indeed true. Upon hearing this, Lu Qingxian's stunning face showed a trace of amazement. Have you seen the alchemist? Chen Silin replied smoothly, he has recently been cooperating with the Chen family to refine top-grade qi cultivation liquid. However, I don't know his appearance, age, name, or even gender. He covers his body with loose robes, so although I'm curious, I dare not ask. Hearing this answer, Lu Qingxian's eyes filled with disappointment. She had hoped to find out his appearance and then locate him. If they could bring a 3-star soul master to the Green Cloud sect, their strength would undoubtedly increase dramatically in a short time. Chen Zhengdao, on the other hand, noticed the top-grade qi cultivation liquid on the table, picked up a bottle, opened it, and sniffed it. His eyes sparkled with rays of light. Its quality is much better than the top-grade qi cultivation liquid on the market. This absolutely cannot be refined by a 2-star soul master. This person is indeed a 3-star soul master. Miss, when will he come again? Chen Silin calmly pointed at the qi cultivation liquid on the table. That senior said he had things to do these days, so he made a lot in advance. I dare not confirm when he will come next. Upon hearing this, Chen Zhengdao nodded slightly. Thank you for informing us, this is for you. He casually handed her a powerful talisman, worth tens of thousands of taels of silver. Chen Silin gratefully accepted. Thank you, senior. Thank you, senior. Qingxian, let's go. Chen Zhengdao jumped on the giant eagle, and Lu Qingxian, with an unwilling look, quickly followed him up. The giant eagle let out a shrill cry and soared up into the sky, disappearing from sight. But it actually hadn't flown far away. Instead, it hid within a dark cloud. Uncle Chen, are we just going to let it go like this? That's a 3-star soul master. The Pavilion Master of Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion seems to be only a 3-star soul master, right? For such a figure, even if we don't bring him under our wing, we should at least investigate his identity clearly. How can we just leave like this? Lu Qingxian anxiously said. Chen Zhengdao, with his hands behind his back, looked down at Chen Silin's every move, his eyes slightly narrowed, who said we're leaving. Aren't we searching for him right now? Lu Qingxian was stunned. Staying here, do you expect that soul master to come out by himself? Chen Zhengdao revealed a profound smile. Didn't you notice, the little girl from the Chen family, her answers flowed too smoothly. Lu Qingxian recalled and also sensed something was off. Indeed, it was very smooth. It seemed like she prepared the answers in advance. Chen Zhengdao nodded. I suspect she is deliberately covering for this 3-star soul master. To find that soul master, we just need to follow her, see who she comes into contact with in the next few days, and it will become clear. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 32, The Mysterious Betrothal Gift. Chen Silin unconcernedly took all the qi cultivation liquid back to her room. A calm face emerged with lingering fear. Luckily, Jiang Fan left early, otherwise it would have been troublesome. She patted her chest, her heart pounding wildly. These two people, are they enemies or friends of Jiang Fan? I can't confirm it and absolutely can't let them find Jiang Fan. Slightly biting her finger, she forced herself to calm down. They definitely haven't left yet, most likely monitoring me in secret. If I contact Jiang Fan now, they will definitely discover him. In that case, I can't go to the day of Jiang Fan's marriage proposal tomorrow. Sigh. The next day. It was just dawn. The Xu family members got up early. Because today was the day of Jiang Fan's marriage proposal. It was said that the Xu family might also come. At that time, both sides would compete openly, and whoever had fewer betrothal gifts would lose face. The Xu family members were curious about how many betrothal gifts Jiang Fan could provide and whether he could finally win Xu Yining over. Finish the work quickly so we can also have a look and see who our new son-in-law is. Is there even a need to say? Of course, it's young Master Xu. He is a disciple of the Green Cloud sect, and the Xu family is one of the most prestigious families. Not necessarily. I heard yesterday that Jiang Fan only spent 10,000 taels of silver to get several bottles of plant essence, each worth hundreds of thousands. Jiang Fan's betrothal gifts will definitely not be light. Who wouldn't be jealous of the eldest lady, who, though not favored by the master, marries far more grandly than any other lady? Do you think the second lady regrets it? After all, Jiang Fan originally wanted to marry her. At this moment, Xu Yining emerged from the training ground, hearing the maids gossiping. Her face immediately turned cold, and she scolded, "You all have no work to do." The maids scattered, but her mood remained unsettled for a long time. Gripping her sword hilt tightly, Xu Yining clenched her teeth slightly. "Will I regret it? What a joke. No matter how good or valuable Jiang Fan's betrothal gifts are, I don't care. I don't care." Fuming, she passed by Aunt Wang's room and heard the noise inside. "Xu Zhengyan, it's all your fault. Why are you so useless? Why can't you make more money? The beauty restore pill is right in front of me, but I can't afford to buy it. I heard Zhang Yusho bought it back and, after taking it, became 20 years younger. She even looks like his sister next to her son now. Why am I so miserable, delayed by your Xu family?" Xu Yining sighed gently, still arguing overnight. Since returning from the auction house, Wang Yingfeng had been relentless. After learning about Zhang Yusho's transformation, she became even more aggressive, quarreling incessantly with Xu Zhengyan. "Father really has it tough. When I marry someone noble in the future, I'll definitely ask him to get a beauty restore pill to compensate for mother." Suddenly, the sound of firecrackers erupted. Xu Yining smiled slightly, as the Xu family's betrothal procession here. Although she knew clearly that Xu Zhanshan had nearly violated her sister. Marrying him was like a sheep entering a tiger's den. But she preferred her sister not marry Jiang Fan. Because, if her sister married Jiang Fan and didn't live well, so be it. If she lived happily, wouldn't that mean Xu Yining had been short-sighted for giving up Jiang Fan? "Hope young Master Xu wins," Xu Yining whispered. In Jiang Fan's room, Xu Yining had come early and was crying silently in Jiang Fan's arms. "Fan, can we really be together?" Although she initially felt wrong to marry in place of her sister. After spending some time together, she discovered she already liked this childhood friend who had pretended to be mute for many years. She didn't want to marry anyone else besides Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan gently patted her back and said, "Silly girl, have I ever broken any of my promises to you? I promised to marry you, and I will definitely marry you. No one can stop me." Easy to say, but what about reality? Xu Yining's brows remained furrowed. After the last rush, the Xu family must have made more thorough preparations this time. Moreover, in the past few days, Jiang Fan had completely offended Wang Yingfeng, who naturally would support the Xu family more. "Fan, why don't you give some plant essence to Aunt Wang to calm her down? Otherwise, I'm worried she will make things extremely difficult for you." Jiang Fan shook his head. "Haven't you heard the story of Mr. Dongguo and the wolf? You can't satisfy a wolf. Give it all the meat it wants, and it will still want to eat the meat off your bones. Wang Yingfeng is the same. Will she be satisfied with plant spirit? No, she will want my 510,000 taels of silver, want you and me to obey her every word, want you to marry into the Xu family to gain more benefits." Upon hearing this, Xu Yining knew it was true. But if this wasn't done, when Wang Yingfeng lost her temper later, not even Xu Zhengyan could stop her. Don't worry, the betrothal gifts I prepared will satisfy Wang Yingfeng. Even if I slapped her, she would still grit her teeth and say she was satisfied. Ah, Xu Yining looked surprised. What kind of betrothal gifts were that exaggerated? Jiang Fan didn't seem to be joking, which made her even more curious. The sound of drums played, and Xu Yining's body trembled, holding Jiang Fan even tighter, as if about to lose him. Jiang Fan teased, "Don't worry, after the betrothal gifts are given, you can hug me however you want." Xu Yining's face flushed with both embarrassment and anger. Is this the time to joke around? After cuddling in his arms for a long time, Xu Yining took a deep breath and, with difficulty, followed Jiang Fan to the Xu family's main hall. At this time, Xu Zhengyan, Wang Yingfeng, the Xu family members, and Lu Zheng were already there. Aside from Xu Zhengyan sincerely hoping Jiang Fan would win, the others either watched with glee or had no expectations. Lu Zheng seized the opportunity to mock openly in front of the whole family. "Jiang Fan, don't feel any pressure. You won't win anyway." Originally, Jiang Fan didn't want to respond. But Lu Zheng kept going, sneering, "The woman I can't have, you won't get either, right? If you ask me, you should admit defeat honestly to save face. Otherwise, the Xu family's betrothal gifts will make you ashamed. Shut up." A voice of disdain came. It was the usually gentle Xu Yining who scolded Lu Zheng, dissatisfied. "Just because you are useless, don't think Fan is like you. Fan is 100 times better than you. No man wants to be compared, especially in front of the woman he likes." Lu Zheng, embarrassed and angry, said, "How is Jiang Fan better than me?" He stopped mid-sentence. Recently, in front of Deputy Pavilion Master Chen, he was easily crushed by Jiang Fan, like fighting off a dog. So, Lu Zheng changed his tune. "What has he given you to make you defend him so much?" Xu Yining couldn't bear it anymore. She stood up and slapped Lu Zheng. Lu Zheng, angered, said, all right. A woman dares to hit me. Then don't blame me for being rude." If Xu Yining struck, he could only stand still and take the hit, since she was at the 9th layer of qi cultivation. But Xu Yining, being only at the 2nd layer, dared to lay hands on him. Fine, let him teach Wang Yingfeng's long-held dislike for Xu Yining a lesson. So, he angrily threw a punch to counter. Smack. But as soon as they collided, Lu Zheng was shocked to find his spiritual power inferior to Xu Yining's. Her slap deflected his hand and directly slapped his face, knocking him to the ground. Just now, the Xu family members who had been laughing with Lu Zheng now looked at Xu Yining as if seeing a ghost, shocked. Xu Yining coldly retracted her hand and stared at Lu Zheng in disgust. "Now do you know what Fan has given me?" Chapter 33, The Xu family's luxurious betrothal gifts. The members of the Xu family were utterly shocked. Is she really Xu Yining? Am I not mistaken? Wasn't she just at the 2nd layer of qi cultivation? When did she become a 5th layer expert who can defeat Lu Zheng? These must be what Jiang Fan gave her. No wonder she is so devoted to Jiang Fan. It turns out Jiang Fan secretly gave her so many benefits. If I were Xu Yining, I would also be willing to marry Jiang Fan. Xu Yining returned to Jiang Fan's side and said softly, "Did I do everything right?" Jiang Fan patted her head and wrote, "Why bother with a defeated dog?" Xu Yining replied, "When flies buzz around, just take the fly swatter and swat a few times to quiet them down." Lu Zheng, lying on the ground, clutching his burning face, was filled with hatred. Jiang Fan, just you wait. Jiang Fan looked over and wrote, "What do you intend to do to me, Lu, the prodigy with a 9th-grade spiritual root?" Hitting where it hurts most. The misunderstanding about the 9th-grade spiritual root was Lu Zheng's utmost humiliation. Lu Zheng was so angry that his eyes nearly bulged out of his head, his chest heaved violently, and his vision darkened. Bang! Jiang Fan, do you even see me? Wang Yingfeng slammed the table, rebuking angrily. She could no longer tolerate Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan earnestly wrote a sentence, "Are you worthy?" Just these 3 words. The disdain was evident on the paper. The Xu family members were all terrified. Was he actually openly insulting Wang Yingfeng? Xu Yining was so scared that her heart nearly leapt out. She hastily pressed down his note and whispered, "Are you crazy?" At this moment, why provoke her? Xu Yining's eyes turned cold, glaring fiercely at Jiang Fan. This was already the second time Jiang Fan showed disrespect to her mother. Jiang Fan, if you become the son-in-law of our Xu family today, we can let this matter go, considering you as one of us. Apologize to my mother by kowtowing, and this will be over. If you don't, I will surely settle this with you to the death. Jiang Fan also looked at Xu Yining and unceremoniously wrote, "Why should I risk my life for a woman like your mother, both malicious and foolish? Is she worthy?" What? Jiang Fan was still insulting Wang Yingfeng. The Xu family members were left in shock and awe. Jiang Fan has said what we've wanted to but dared not to say. But he's too impulsive. He's still too young to understand patience. Xu Zhengyan felt a headache coming on. He quickly said, "Jiang Fan, stop talking nonsense." He gave Jiang Fan a look, signaling him to endure for now. The marriage between Jiang Fan and Xu Yining was in Wang Yingfeng's hands. If Wang Yingfeng got too angry, this marriage would certainly be called off. But it was too late to remind him now. Wang Yingfeng, boiling with rage, grabbed a teacup and smashed it to pieces on the ground. The boiling tea splattered onto the surrounding clan members, eliciting cries of pain. Jiang Fan. Wang Yingfeng gnashed her teeth, her body shaking as she screamed, "If I let the two of you marry today, I will write my name backwards." The entire hall fell silent. No one had ever seen Wang Yingfeng so furious. They looked at Jiang Fan, all showing expressions of pity. Xu Yining also turned pale. There was no need to compare the betrothal gifts anymore. The Xu family would definitely win. Wang Yingfeng had already sworn publicly to write her name backwards. She couldn't think of any reason that would make Wang Yingfeng change her mind now. Only Jiang Fan remained unconcerned, slowly writing, "Don't worry, you will." Xu Zhengyan wondered if Jiang Fan was insane. He had angered her to the point of making an oath. How could she possibly take back her words and make herself a laughing stock? "Dear-in-law, why are you so angry?" Zhang Yusho, leading Xu Jianshan, entered the hall with a smile. Their servants carried numerous treasure boxes, filled with dazzling jewels. Much more than last time. Wang Yingfeng almost didn't recognize Zhang Yusho. She was dressed in a purple robe, her skin smooth and rosy, her hair jet black, and standing next to Xu Jianshan, she didn't look much older. Was this the effect of the beauty restore pill? She had thought it was exaggerated hearsay. Now she saw, Zhang Yusho's transformation was even more remarkable than rumors. Her heart was filled with overwhelming jealousy. One pill could make a woman 20 years younger. To a woman, it was more enticing than any divine pill that could enhance strength. Unfortunately, there was only one. She greeted with a complex expression, "Just some small matters, small matters." Zhang Yusho, not hiding her pride, said cheerfully, "Dear-in-law, cheer up, today is a joyous day for your Xu family. Shen, come and pay respects to your future mother-in-law." Xu Jianshan quickly smiled and said politely, "Your son-in-law, Xu Jianshan, greets you." Wang Yingfeng's mood still couldn't lift, and she forced a smile. "Please, sit, everyone, sit." Returning to her seat, Wang Yingfeng's mind was elsewhere. Especially when she noticed the Xu family members all staring at the newly transformed, radiant Zhang Yusho, her mood worsened. Xu Zhengyan, with a calm expression, asked, "Mrs. Xu, what betrothal gifts did you bring today?" Looking at the dazzling treasures, he was worried for Jiang Fan. Xu Jianshan stepped forward and said, "Allow me to introduce. Gold, silver, and jewels worth 1 million taels. SS's." The Xu family members gasped in shock. The previously disheartened Wang Yingfeng suddenly became spirited. 1 million taels was astronomical. If she had this amount of silver earlier, the beauty restore pill would have been hers yesterday. Xu Jianshan, satisfied with their reactions, continued, 20 bottles of mid-grade qi cultivation liquid, worth 200,000 taels. A yellow-level lower technique, worth 300,000 taels. A lower-grade magic artifact, worth 500,000 taels. At the mention of the magic artifact, Xu Yining couldn't remain seated and exclaimed, "A magic artifact." Unlike ordinary weapons, magic artifacts contained spiritual power. Using one could greatly amplify the power of swordsmanship. Such high-grade items could only be found in the Green Cloud sect. And they were very valuable, rewards only given to disciples with significant accomplishments. She couldn't help but envy Xu Yining, who received such an abundant dowry. Wang Yingfeng's face lit up with joy. Altogether, it was worth 2 million taels. Good son-in-law, our Yoren is truly fortunate to have you. Wang Yingfeng couldn't stop smiling. Xu Jianshan also felt assured. The deal was done. He turned to look at Jiang Fan, who still looked calm, and taunted, Jiang Fan. Weren't you quite arrogant at the auction house yesterday? Now, can you show the same arrogance with your betrothal gifts today? Let's see if your gifts match your arrogance. Jiang Fan slowly opened his eyes. He calmly wrote a line. Is this all you have? Chapter 34, Please slap your own face. The entire Xu family stared at these 4 characters in astonishment. What does it mean? Did they think the Xu family's dowry is too little? A dowry worth 2 million. This is the first time since the founding of Lonely Boat City. Does Jiang Fan look down on such a large dowry? In comparison, Xu Yoren revealed a trace of desolation. This is a 2 million dowry. How could Jiang Fan compete? Even if yesterday's plant essence was sold, it would barely be over 100 taels. Adding to Jiang Fan's existing 510,000 taels, it still wouldn't come close to 2 million. Xu Jianshan smirked. That bottle of plant essence, if you hadn't used it, might barely qualify you to compete with me. But now you have nothing, so what will you use to compete with me? Lu Zheng finally found his chance for revenge. He sneered, young Master Xu, this guy might be mute, but his stubbornness is unmatched. Even with a swollen face, his mouth won't yield. Only when Xu Yoren is in your arms will he be writhing in pain. Wang Yingfeng's good mood was immediately shattered by Jiang Fan's single remark. You even look down on a dowry of 2 million. Young Master Jiang, how much can you offer? Xu Zhengyan sighed heavily. There was no need to compare further. Even with the help of a fortune deity, Jiang Fan couldn't amass such a huge sum of silver. Continuing the comparison would only embarrass Jiang Fan further. All right then, since young Master Xu has proposed the dowry, the marriage is settled. There's no need for Jiang Fan to present his. Bang. However, Wang Yingfeng slammed the table and snorted, stop shielding this useless person. Did you forget how he was jumping around just now? Today, I want to see exactly what he's capable of. Xu Jianshan also cupped his hands and said, Father-in-law, without a comparison, how can we know how much the Xu family values Yoren? We can't let outsiders think that the Xu family bullies others with our power, can we? Since Jiang Fan is competing with me for a woman, we must distinguish who is superior, clearly and distinctly. Clap, clap. Just as Xu Zhengyan was about to speak, Jiang Fan clapped his hands. He picked up his pen and wrote, I completely agree with what young Master Xu said. Without comparison, where does the difference come from? Then, he took out stack after stack of silver notes from his chest. Without exception, they were all in denominations of 10,000 taels. Differing from the previous 510,000 taels. This time, the silver notes were so many that they took one's breath away. Pure white, like paper, piled together casually. Count them. Jiang Fan's note broke the dead silence in the hall. Xu Zhengyan was the first to react, quickly gathering up the countless silver notes. Though not yet counted, the amount clearly exceeded 2 million. His hands trembled as he counted them one by one. Finding the task overwhelming, he eventually had to ask for help. Yining, what are you standing there for? Quickly help count. Xu Yining walked over dazedly and started helping to count. A blank slate in her mind. Shortly after, she finished counting and said in a tone even she found uncertain, a total of 2.7 million taels. What did this mean? It was 700,000 taels more than the Xu family's dowry, which had cost them everything. The entire room fell silent. Pairs of astonished eyes stared at the 2.7 million taels of silver. Xu Yining looked at Jiang Fan, calm and composed, then at Xu Yoren, thrilled beyond measure. Her emotions churned. Lu Zheng was dumbfounded, wanting to say something harsh but unable to form a sentence against such a colossal dowry. Xu Jianshan also stood frozen, unable to comprehend where Jiang Fan had acquired so much silver. Just 2 days ago, he only had 510,000 taels. Little did they know, Jiang Fan previously had 1.3 million taels. After selling a beauty restore pill yesterday, he got another 1.4 million from the Xu family, accumulating to a total of 2.7 million taels. Jiang Fan looked at Xu Jianshan, Half smiling, young Master Xu, your Xu family can continue to add more, I'll wait for you. The Xu family had no more wealth to add. Buying a beauty restore pill yesterday cost 1.4 million, causing them to sell many assets. This 2 million dowry was all they could scrape together. If they added another 700,000, the Xu family truly wouldn't have it. Xu Jianshan gritted his teeth until they creaked, his fists clenched tightly, glaring at Jiang Fan with hatred. Jiang Fan calmly wrote out, "Does glaring so intensely help? If you can still add to the dowry, then do so. If you have no money, then take your dowry and get as far away as you can." Humiliation. A tremendous humiliation. In Xu Jianshan's life, had he ever been so insulted? Jiang Fan, how dare you go too far? Xu Jianshan shouted. Jiang Fan slowly stood, coldly writing several lines. Unable to seize another's wife, yet slandering others for bullying you. Your Xu family, has it inscribed shamelessness upon your faces? You. Xu Jianshan was furious. He wished to go up and beat Jiang Fan half to death. But in this public setting and with Xu Zhengyan protecting Jiang Fan, he could do nothing. Zhang Yusho was also infuriated. She had thought the Xu family had the upper hand, but they were easily trampled by a mere houseguest. Unable to overshadow them financially, she had nothing to say. She coldly said, "Shen, we are leaving." However, just when everyone thought the matter was settled, Wang Yingfeng stared at Jiang Fan with hatred, shouting, "Jiang, what are you so smug about? Who told you that you have won?" Members of the Xu family, puzzled, looked over. Was there still a need to compare? 2.7 million taels of ready cash against a dowry discounted to 2 million. Even a fool could see whose dowry was more, right? Xu Zhengyan was dumbfounded, pulling Wang Yingfeng saying, "Don't be unreasonable. Since Fan's dowry is more, Fan has won." Wang Yingfeng pushed him away, roaring, "Get lost. I will make the decisions about this marriage." Xu Zhengyan's face turned blue and white. The dignified authority of the family head was shattered by her roar. Wang Yingfeng glared at Jiang Fan with resentment, "Don't say I am being unreasonable. You remember my words, right?" Jiang Fan, seemingly anticipating this, took out a previously prepared note, "A dowry that will satisfy you." Wang Yingfeng was slightly startled. Jiang Fan had foreseen she would dwell on this issue. But it didn't matter. Even if the sky fell today, she wouldn't agree to this marriage. "Good." Wang Yingfeng snorted, "Although your dowry is more, I prefer young Master Zhu's dowry more. This doesn't go against the promise, does it?" "What?" Everyone's expressions changed. Several family members immediately advised. "Madam, you're being foolish. Jiang Fan's is 2.7 million taels. Not only that, Jiang Fan is one of us. We don't need to return his dowry. What he gives, it's ours. But the Xu family's dowry must be paired with a dowry to be returned together. No family would keep the bride price. On the contrary, it would be sent back along with a dowry. And Jiang Fan's 2.7 million taels could greatly develop Xu Mansion, enhancing the family's strength." Everyone shut up. Wang Yingfeng shouted, "I don't care about the Xu family. I just want to break up Jiang Fan and Xu Yoren. I want them to never be together." Then she pointed her finger at Jiang Fan, saying, "I'm not satisfied with your dowry. So, get out of Xu Mansion. Now. Immediately. Without delay." Jiang Fan smiled without saying anything. He pushed aside the pile of silver notes in front of him and took out another pre-written note. "I have one more item in my dowry. You will be satisfied." Ha ha ha. Wang Yingfeng laughed aloud. "Jiang Fan, oh Jiang Fan. What do you take me for? We've come to this point, and you think I will slap my own face? Even if you present an immortal pill, today, you must leave." Jiang Fan chuckled, holding a note in his left hand. "I don't have an immortal pill, but I do have this pill." With his right hand, he slowly took out a jade bottle from his chest. Inside was nothing else but a beauty restore pill. Chapter 35, Who Said You Can Eat? This pill appeared. The entire Xu family exploded like a pot boiling over. Beauty restore pill. It's the beauty restore pill. Oh my god, it's the second beauty restore pill. Jiang Fan's true wedding dowry is actually a genuine beauty restore pill. What? Xu Jianshan gasped. The smile on his face hadn't even fully formed before it fell apart, replaced by overwhelming shock. He had personally witnessed how attractive a single beauty restore pill was. Last time, many wealthy women were ill-prepared and deeply regretted not bidding afterwards. If another one appeared, its value would far exceed 1.4 million. Xu Yining covered her mouth in disbelief. She had fantasized about marrying a powerful true love to get such a wedding dowry. Jiang Fan effortlessly produced one. Xu Zhengyan was equally stunned after a brief pause. This pill, Jiang Fan actually had one. At this moment, no one questioned where the beauty restore pill came from. All their attention was on the pill and Wang Yingfeng. Yesterday, Wang Yingfeng had caused chaos in the entire Xu family because she couldn't get the beauty restore pill. Now, with a genuine beauty restore pill in front of her, it was uncertain what she would do. Would she continue to behave unreasonably and break Jiang Fan and Xu Yining apart? Or would she treat her previous words like air? Wang Yingfeng was also stunned, looking at the beauty restore pill with eyes full of disbelief. This was the beauty restore pill she had dreamed of. But looking at Jiang Fan's faint smile, she remembered her resolute words and was momentarily indecisive. Jiang Fan smiled slightly and said, "Since you don't want it, I'll take it to auction." Saying this, he tucked the beauty restore pill into his chest. Wait. Wang Yingfeng panicked, especially when she saw Zhang Yusho's youthful face. She couldn't resist the temptation. Let it be a slap in the face. She would turn hostile later. Fine. You win. Your dowry, I'm satisfied. With these words, the entire venue felt like they were dreaming. Jiang Fan had humiliated Wang Yingfeng so much. The vengeful Wang Yingfeng actually agreed to the marriage contract, just as Jiang Fan said. Wang Yingfeng finished speaking, feeling her face burn, and said fiercely, "Can you give it to me now?" Jiang Fan produced a pre-prepared contract and placed it before her, along with a note, "Your verbal promise is as good as air. Better to sign a contract." Once again humiliated, Wang Yingfeng was furious. She had planned to go back on her word later, but Jiang Fan saw through her and mocked her. But for the beauty restore pill, she could only suppress her anger and sign the contract. With the contract signed, Jiang Fan and Xu Yining's marriage was officially valid. Even if she tried to stop it afterward, the signed contract meant she had no right to interfere. "Now can you give it to me?" Wang Yingfeng stared at the beauty restore pill, her eyes burning with desire. Xu Zhengyan finally relaxed, showing a relieved smile. Seeing Wang Yingfeng's eagerness, he smiled and said, "Fan, give it to her. Your mother-in-law can't wait to become young again." Jiang Fan nodded and wrote, "Of course, since it's a dowry to your family, how to dispose of it is up to you. However, let me say this first, before handing over this beauty restore pill, please verify it carefully. Don't get it and then claim it's fake." Xu Zhengyan wanted to say who would be so low, but looking at Wang Yingfeng, he thought Jiang Fan's concern wasn't entirely misplaced. "All right, I'll verify it." He stepped forward, watching as Jiang Fan opened the bottle cap. A rich fragrance of the pill hit them. "Father-in-law, please look closely," Jiang Fan wrote and directed the bottle mouth towards him. Xu Zhengyan nodded and bent down to inspect it carefully. Suddenly, from Jiang Fan's palm, a force suddenly emitted, causing the beauty restore pill to be ejected from the jade bottle. It landed right in Xu Zhengyan's mouth and rolled into his throat. Cough, cough, cough. Xu Zhengyan choked and coughed several times, bewildered. Did I eat the beauty restore pill? The unexpected scene made the entire Xu family explode. Wang Yingfeng couldn't believe it and screamed, "My beauty restore pill! Spit it out! You wretch, spit it out now!" Xu Zhengyan also panicked, trying to spit it back out. But the beauty restore pill dissolved quickly once ingested, melting into liquid and permeating his body. Immediately after, in a series of exclamations, the aged Xu Zhengyan underwent an unbelievable transformation. His gray hair visibly turned black. The wrinkles on his face smoothed out rapidly, and spots disappeared quickly. Even his slightly stooped posture became upright again. In the blink of an eye, he transformed from a middle-aged man to a youth in his early 30s. With a change to younger, more fashionable clothes, he would look barely over 20. This was the effect of the top-grade beauty restore pill. Twice as effective as the low-grade one, making him 20 years younger. I became young. Xu Yining looked at his new appearance in disbelief, as if dreaming. It was like seeing himself 30 years ago when he first took charge of the Xu family, full of vigor. Watching the dramatic change in her husband, the middle-aged Wang Yingfeng screamed from the bottom of her heart, "That's mine. It's my beauty restore pill." Xu Yining snapped out of it, looking lost. "Dear, I don't know what happened. I didn't eat it on purpose." Wang Yingfeng understood, her eyes filled with immense hatred as she raged at Jiang Fan. "It's you. You deliberately gave it to Xu Yining, didn't you? Didn't you?" Jiang Fan quietly looked at her and wrote without hesitation, "That's right. Compared to your pampered life, Uncle Xu needed this beauty restore pill more." He never intended to give the precious beauty restore pill to Wang Yingfeng. His plan was to get the contract signed and then have Xu Yining take the beauty restore pill. Wang Yingfeng went berserk. "You tricked me." Jiang Fan shook his head and wrote, "This is the dowry, it's for your family, anyone can take it." Wang Yingfeng lost her mind, shouting, "Beat him to death. Beat him to death." But the Xu family was indifferent. The clan members still had a sense of justice. They also believed that the beauty restore pill suited the hard-working Xu Yining better. Finding no one would obey her, Wang Yingfeng got even angrier, roaring, "Xu Yining! Where are you? Can't you see your mother was deceived? Kill Jiang Fan immediately. Hurry up." Xu Yining stood still and did not move. She glanced at Jiang Fan with some resentment and said, "Mother, why don't I take you to rest?" After all, Jiang Fan gave the beauty restore pill to her father. Seeing her hard-working father become so young made her genuinely happy and excited. So, she didn't think Jiang Fan did anything wrong. Only her mother couldn't accept it right away. "Even you betrayed me. I don't want to live anymore." Wang Yingfeng sat on the ground, kicking and cursing loudly. She was acting like a shrew. Xu Yining and Xu Yining looked embarrassed, helpless in dealing with their kin. The clan members shook their heads. Xu Yining then took Jiang Fan's arm and said, "Everyone, disperse. The matter is over." However, at this moment, a paper crane magically flew over, landing in Xu Jianshan's hand. "Oh, a message from the sect." He quickly opened it and read the contents, his face growing serious. Then he grinned savagely. "Who told you it was over? Xu family, you are facing a catastrophe." Chapter 36. Xu Yining gets angry. The words, "family disgrace," brought the jubilant members of the Xu family to a standstill. Xu Yining's face darkened as he said, "Young Master Xu, please watch your words. Our Xu family has always adhered to the rules. How could there be a family disgrace?" However, Xu Jianshan laughed heartily, his gaze sweeping over the Xu family members and finally fixating on Lu Zheng. "Why don't you ask Lu Zheng whether he sold Lonely Boat City's patrol map to the Bloodbat Palace?" What? The Xu family members were stunned. Bloodbat Palace. That evil force lurking within the Green Cloud sect's territory. The Green Cloud sect had tried multiple times to eradicate it without success and had issued a strict order forbidding any dealings with the Bloodbat Palace. Any such interaction would be deemed collaboration with the Bloodbat Palace. If violated, the punishment would be the extermination of the family. Xu Yining was terrified. He yanked Lu Zheng from the crowd, yelling, "Tell him, did you collude with the Bloodbat Palace?" At that moment, Jiang Fan and Xu Yining exchanged a glance, both feeling a pang of anxiety. The other day, Xu Yining had encountered 3 Bloodbat Palace members on the mountain. They had said that Lu Zheng owed them money. Clearly, Lu Zheng had connections with the Bloodbat Palace. Staring at the ground, Lu Zheng, who had previously been confident, now broke out in a cold sweat, shaking his head vigorously. No, it's a rumor." Xu Jianshan smirked coldly. "People from the Green Cloud sect raided a branch of the Bloodbat Palace and captured several members. They exposed you and even produced the patrol map you gave them. With both circumstantial and material evidence, denying it is useless." Wang Yingfeng got up from the ground to defend her nephew. "That's impossible. My nephew will have a promising future. How could he do such a thing?" Xu Jianshan mocked. "Do you think that people from the Green Cloud sect would deliberately frame an insignificant person? Lu Zheng, will you confess on your own, or should I use torture?" Seeing his actions exposed, Lu Zheng's face turned deathly pale. He rushed to kneel before Wang Yingfeng, frantically explaining, "Aunt, I was forced to. I accidentally owed them money, and they said if I didn't repay it, they'd kill me. That's why I followed their orders and stole the patrol map for them. Please save me. Save me." The Xu family members gasped. So it was true. Xu Zhengyan's vision went black, and he almost collapsed. Fortunately, Xu Yining stepped forward to support him. "Lu Zheng, you beast. How dare you collude with the Bloodbat Palace and sell out Lonely Boat City's patrol map?" The patrol map was the core secret of the officers and soldiers' patrol defense in Lonely Boat City. If the Bloodbat Palace obtained it, infiltrating Lonely Boat City would be a breeze for them. Even Wang Yingfeng was terrified. Though she was a woman, she knew what the patrol map represented. What Lu Zheng committed was no mere mistake but a heinous crime. She trembled and pushed Lu Zheng away, silently retreating, as if treating him like a plague. How could she dare to say another word in his defense? Xu Jianshan smirked sinisterly. "The Green Cloud sect has left this matter for me to handle. In my view, this can be either a big issue or a minor one. If I show mercy, I can act as if nothing happened. But if I investigate thoroughly, none of you Xu family members will escape." He took a step forward, raised his hand to lift Xu Yining's chin, and teased, "You know what I want, don't you? Tonight, Xu Yining must serve me well. The better she serves, the happier I am, and then I might spare your Xu family. Otherwise." Bang! Suddenly, a teacup was thrown, hitting Xu Jianshan's arm. Xu Jianshan retracted his hand in pain, angrily glaring at Jiang Fan, who had thrown it. He spitefully said, "I'll tell you right now, you won't escape either." Jiang Fan said calmly, "Who gave you the power to exterminate the entire Xu family?" "Lu Zheng is a Lu by name. What does it have to do with the Xu family?" This snapped the Xu family members out of their shock. Xu Yining also suddenly woke up, and with her sword raised, she shouted, "Xu Jianshan. If you want to destroy the Xu family, do you plan to include me? Don't forget that I'm the designated true disciple of the Green Cloud sect, and my future status will be much higher than yours. Today, if Xu Jianshan dared to abuse his power to destroy the Xu family, one day, Xu Yining would surely flatten the Xu family." Xu Zhengyan also regained his senses and said quickly, "Yes, yes. Lu Zheng colluded with the Bloodbat Palace. Go after him, but why implicate the Xu family?" The barrage of questions left Xu Jianshan in an awkward position. He gritted his teeth and argued stubbornly, "Lu Zheng was raised in your Xu family. He committed the crime, so your Xu family can't evade responsibility." Jiang Fan wrote with a flourish, "If that's your argument, then wouldn't the Xu family also plot rebellion by attempting to marry into the Xu family? Let's just wipe them out together." Everyone's eyes brightened. It had to be admitted that although Jiang Fan was mute, he always hit the mark with his words. Xu Zhengyan promptly announced, "From now on, Lu Zheng is expelled from the Xu family. He will have no further affiliation with us. No, aunt, please save me. Give me another chance." Lu Zheng's face turned ashen as he wept and pleaded. Once he was expelled, execution awaited him. Wang Yingfeng, though unwilling, could not help but feel pity for her nephew. She addressed Xu Zhengyan, "Husband, why not marry Yoren to young Master Xu? Wouldn't that be a win-win solution?" Slap. In response, she received a resounding slap. Xu Zhengyan, consumed with rage, slapped her face, roaring, "How can you still defend your nephew at such a time? Do you want to sacrifice my daughter's happiness to save his wretched life? You've already cut the resources for the Xu family members to support Lu Zheng's reckless behavior. You allowed him to rampage within the mansion and even had Jiang Fan use his betrothal gift to settle his debt with the Qin family head. Now, he's committed an unforgivable crime that threatens the Xu family's extermination, and you still want to protect him. Is it only when the Xu family is eradicated that you'll be satisfied? Huh. Get out. You get out too. The Xu family will be doomed one day if you stay." Wang Yingfeng shrank back in fear. After decades of marriage, this was the first time Xu Zhengyan had lost his temper with her. The Xu family members all showed a sense of relief. It served her right. She deserved a harsh lesson. This woman had always used Xu Zhengyan's kindness to assert her dominant stance and meddle aggressively in Xu family affairs. Now, Her nephew had brought calamity upon the family, yet she remained unrepentant. Xu Yining, still seething with anger, shouted, "Break Lu Zheng's legs and throw him onto the street." Several servants who had suffered under Lu Zheng immediately pinned him down and brutally broke his legs. Lu Zheng's screams were agonizing. Without mercy, they threw him out despite his pleas. Xu Yining then coldly looked at Xu Jianshan, "The one who colluded with the Blood Bat Palace has been punished by the Xu family for you. Next, whether you want to flay him or slice him up is your concern, but it has nothing to do with the Xu family." Xu Jianshan, unable to continue his coercion, found himself in a dilemma. He was deeply humiliated and felt it was no longer just about obtaining Xu Yuan. It was now about venting his pent-up anger. Suddenly, he glanced back at the content on the paper crane. After reading it, he sneered grimly. "You are celebrating too soon. The sect's message also instructed me on another matter. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 37, Making Magic Artifacts." Xu Jianshan sneered. "The Green Cloud sect ordered me to conscript the experts from each family in Lonely Boat City to eradicate the remnants of the Blood Bat Palace in the vicinity. I decide how many Blood Bat Palace members each family has to take down." Xu Yining frowned. The people of the Blood Bat Palace were mostly brutal and had considerable strength. Most of them were above the 7th layer of Qi cultivation. The protectors had even reached the 9th layer of Qi cultivation. And the subalter master was an expert in the foundation establishment realm. The government had launched multiple sieges against the Blood Bat Palace, all suffering heavy losses. If too many heads were assigned to the Xu family, the consequences would be. Xu Jianshan shook the paper crane. According to the sect's intelligence, the subalter master of the Blood Bat Palace near Lonely Boat City, 2 protectors, and 30 members are on the run. If your Xu family is willing to bow your head and admit your mistake, and hand over Xu Yuan to let me have my way, I'll let the Xu family off the hook. After all, the Xu family is just a medium-sized family, and there are plenty of families stronger than yours. If you refuse, then I'm sorry, the subalter master is yours to deal with." "What?" Xu Jingyin's face changed dramatically. "You're abusing public power for personal gain." Xu Jianshan shrugged shamelessly. "If you are not satisfied, you can complain to the Green Cloud sect. But if you can't complete the task in 10 days, then the Xu family will face confiscation and imprisonment." Everyone knew that this was not an empty threat. If the assigned task was not completed, the Green Cloud sect would indeed impose severe punishments. But to ask the Xu family to wipe out the subalter master of the Blood Bat Palace, was this a joke? The strongest person in the Xu family was Xu Jianing, only at the 1st layer of foundation establishment. That subalter master was said to be an expert in the 2nd layer of foundation establishment. Moreover, the opponent was notoriously ruthless. How could Xu Jianing be a match? "Choose," Xu Jianshan said leisurely. At this moment, Jiang Fan raised a note. "Uncle, leave the subalter master to me." He had confidence that within 10 days, he could advance to the foundation establishment realm and, with the dragon-seeking scripture, his strength would further increase. Facing the subalter master would be sufficient. Xu Jianing patted him on the shoulder appreciatively. "Indeed, you are the esteemed son-in-law I recognize. You didn't let me down." He looked sideways at Xu Jianshan, contemptuous. "A despicable man like you is also worthy of marrying my daughter. Our Xu family needs people like Jiang Fan with backbone. You're not even fit to carry Jiang Fan's shoes. Get out. Come for the head in 10 days. Xu Jianshan, humiliated and furious, gritted his teeth. "Fine. Xu Jianing, you asked for this. If I don't see the subalter master's head in 10 days, I'll take yours. And you, Jiang Fan, when you return empty-handed, I wonder how you'll face the Xu family." With that, he stormed off in anger. Jiang Fan clenched his fists. 10 days, the time was indeed tight. At this moment, Xu Jianing patted his shoulder again. "Relax, I'll slay the subalter master, you stay home and keep your company." It turned out that he had the same thought as Jiang Fan. Even without Jiang Fan speaking up, he would have resolutely refused. Moreover, for such a dangerous task, how could he, as the family head, remain indifferent while letting the younger generation handle it? After everyone dispersed, the Xu family members, feeling the crisis, started diligently practicing their cultivation techniques. Except for Jiang Fan, he had already broken through to the 8th layer of qi cultivation. Further progress would be slow in the short term. To enhance his strength, the only option was attack skills. He took out the high-level yellow-grade attack cultivation technique, the 7-star sword Ju. This was the highest level swordsmanship in the entire city, exceptionally profound. And what he lacked now was a sword. Thinking of this, he retrieved the thunderstruck wood he had obtained from the auction under the bed. According to the Taiyan Soul technique, thunder pattern spiritual wood is excellent material for refining magic artifacts. Even without mastering artifact crafting, it can be made into a natural magic artifact. Jiang Fan muttered, carving it bit by bit with a small knife. Half a day later, a crude-looking black wooden sword was held in Jiang Fan's hand. Is this a magic artifact? Jiang Fan scratched his head, trying to swing it at the air, but it didn't resemble a magic artifact. It was said that a magic artifact would unleash special abilities upon activation. This wooden sword showed no reaction. Unwilling to give up, he tried poking his arm lightly with the sword. The result: upon contact, a thunderbolt surged from the wooden sword, striking Jiang Fan's arm. Immediately, his entire body went numb from the electric shock. His limbs stiffened, unable to move. After a while, he recovered, his heart pounding wildly from the electric shock, making him gasp heavily. This thunderbolt. He finally understood what a natural magic artifact was. Enduring countless lightning strikes, the thunder pattern spiritual would contain a trace of thunder power. When attacking, poking the enemy would paralyze their body. This was a lethal weapon for killing enemies. Jiang Fan immediately realized its usefulness and couldn't help but be overjoyed. He immediately started practicing according to the 7-star sword Ju. This sword technique was divided into 3 levels: upper, middle, and lower. The first level was lonely star points. The second level was 3 stars illuminating the moon. The third level was 7 stars to the north. Each move was more powerful than the last, especially the final move, which unleashed a fatal force that could even cut through black iron. Just like comprehending a mental method, he found no bottlenecks in practicing the sword technique either. Except for the last layer, which required some thought, the whole sword technique was without difficulty. 3 days later, he had achieved great success in swordsmanship. Meanwhile, practicing sword techniques by day and mental methods by night, with the help of top-grade qi cultivation liquid, he had successfully advanced to 8th layer perfection of qi cultivation. He only needed a fierce battle to solidify his spiritual power and successfully break through to the 9th layer. Fan, good news. The Dragon Rising path in Lonely Boat City has opened. Xu Yining came joyfully to deliver the news. Dragon Rising path. Jiang Fan was slightly surprised. This was a trial ground set up by the Green Cloud sect in every city. Not only was the spiritual energy inside rich, making it ideal for cultivation, but more importantly, one could fight various projections within it. These projections were the prodigies of the Green Cloud sect in their youth. The projections would display all kinds of cultivation techniques in their strongest states. Because they were just projections, they wouldn't harm the trialists but could enhance their combat abilities. It originally opened once every 10 years. But this time, due to the imminent eradication of the Blood Bat Palace remnants, it opened exceptionally. Let's go quickly. Jiang Fan was most in need of actual combat now. Dragon Rising Path was a tower. A winding stone staircase extended from the first layer to the top layer. Many were already standing on the stone steps, vigorously displaying martial skills at the air. Xu Yining said, "Fan, each stone step will have a projection, only by defeating it can you move up a level. It's said that outstanding performers will be rewarded." Jiang Fan didn't care about the rewards. He just wanted to engage in a grand fight soon. So, he immediately stepped onto the first layer. Sure enough, as soon as he set his foot, his vision turned black, and he appeared on an open field. A projection of an 18-year-old boy slowly appeared. "Li Zijin, 5th layer of qi cultivation, please instruct me." So the threshold was the 5th layer. Jiang Fan nodded and decisively struck, shattering it with a light punch. No difficulty. Jiang Fan quickly moved to the 2nd step. "Huang Gaihu, 5th layer perfection of qi cultivation, please instruct me." Still a punch. Chen Yuanqing, 6th layer of qi cultivation, please instruct me. Still a punch. Yuan Zongdao, 6th layer perfection of qi cultivation, please instruct me. Jiang Fan practically defeated each one with a punch, almost without pausing. It was like walking. Only when he defeated the 8th layer of qi cultivation did his steps slow down. When he looked up, he was stunned. To his surprise, in front of him was Xu Yining. Chapter 38. The frantic Lu Qingxian. She was drenched in sweat, furiously striking at the air, indicating the projection of the 8th layer of qi cultivation perfection had caused her considerable trouble. Thinking about it, it was understandable. These projections were all prodigies of the Green Cloud sect. The cultivation techniques they practiced were far superior to the lower yellow-level techniques of the Xu family. Although Xu Yining had reached the 9th layer of qi cultivation, the difference in cultivation techniques became evident when facing the 8th layer of qi cultivation perfection. Is the 8th layer of qi cultivation perfection really this difficult? Jiang Fan pondered as he stepped forward. Immediately, a tall young girl with an exceptionally beautiful face appeared before him. Huh, isn't this the girl in purple I met at the City Lord Mansion? What's her name? Lu something Xian. Jiang Fan still remembered that she had given him a purple token. To this day, he still didn't know what the token was for. However, the projection before him was clearly the girl in purple in her youth, a few years younger. Lu Qingxian, 8th layer of qi cultivation perfection, please advise. As she finished speaking, she drew a purple sword and performed a brilliant set of swordsmanship. Jiang Fan quickly drew his sword to counter. Although her swordsmanship was extraordinary, his 7-star sword Ju was a notch above. It only took 3 rounds to knock her long sword away. As the darkness in front of him receded, Jiang Fan had succeeded. Glancing to the side, he saw Xu Yining still gritting his teeth, trapped in a fierce struggle. Next, Jiang Fan stepped onto the 9th layer of the stairs. A handsome young man appeared. Chen Zhengdao, 9th layer of qi cultivation, please advise. Meanwhile, above the clouds of the Chen family, Lu Qingxian frowned. Uncle Chen, are you sure she is really covering for that 3-star soul master? They had been monitoring her for 4 days. Chen Silin had only visited various properties of the Chen family, without contacting any strangers. This made Chen Zhengdao start to doubt his own judgment. Could it be that I am being paranoid? He touched his nose. Lu Qingxian sighed, this 3-star soul master is really hard to find. Huh. Suddenly, Lu Qingxian stood up abruptly, looking surprised towards the dragon rising path. Someone broke my projection in the dragon rising path. Chen Zhengdao laughed, what's so surprising about that? It was just a projection of you at 18. Lu Qingxian was astonished, but, this person beat me in only 3 moves. Oh. Chen Zhengdao showed a look of surprise. Even at 18, Lu Qingxian's strength was not to be underestimated. He pondered for a moment, could it be that you sensed it wrong? Even the one with the 9-grade spiritual root in the city is only at the 7th layer of qi cultivation, defeating you in 3 moves is unrealistic. The dragon rising path was only open to the young. It was unlikely that such a powerful young person existed. Lu Qingxian thought about it and hesitated, maybe. After all, it sounded exaggerated for someone of the same age to defeat her, the daughter of the sect master, in just 3 moves. It was likely an illusion. However, soon after, Chen Zhengdao, who was still monitoring, also stood up abruptly. He looked toward the dragon rising path with a look of astonishment. What happened, Uncle Chen? Lu Qingxian was startled by his reaction. Chen Zhengdao showed a look of surprise and doubt. My projection was also defeated, the opponent only used 10 moves. Huh. Lu Qingxian was even more shocked, really? At that time, you were known as the #1 prodigy within the Green Cloud sect and unbeaten in your era. Chen Zhengdao's 8th grade spiritual root was no joke. Plus, with the resources of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, at 18, he was unbeaten within the Green Cloud sect. His projection being defeated implied the emergence of an even more extraordinary prodigy. You stay and continue monitoring, I'll go see who this is. Chen Zhengdao left Lu Qingxian and hurried over. I'll go too. This lonely boat city is too strange. Lu Qingxian bit her lip, feeling indignant. It was already surprising when a 9-grade spiritual root emerged in such a remote place, attributing it to immense luck. Now a 3-star soul master appeared too. Not finding the soul master but another world-class prodigy. What was Lonely Boat City up to? Was it aiming for the heavens? She hurriedly rode her blue giant eagle and flew away. At this time, Jiang Fan had already stepped onto the 10th step. Yun Tianzhou, 9th layer of Qi cultivation perfection, please advise. As soon as they clashed, Jiang Fan immediately felt immense pressure. But that was better. He fought with all his might, even using the lightning attribute of his wooden sword. Even so, after hundreds of rounds, he barely succeeded in passing the challenge. Looking at the 11th layer above, the exhausted Jiang Fan chose to go back the way he came. Beyond that was the foundation establishment realm. He felt pressured facing the 9th layer of Qi cultivation perfection, not to mention the foundation establishment realm. There was no need to force it. He now needed to go back and cultivate quietly, taking the opportunity to solidify his spiritual power and break through to the 9th layer of Qi cultivation in one go. He would come back to try again when the opportunity arose. On his return, he found Xu Yining still entangled with the projection of the 8th layer of Qi cultivation perfection, unable to gain an advantage. Meanwhile, Xu Yining had successfully defeated the 5th layer of Qi cultivation and the 5th layer of perfection. She was now fiercely battling the 6th layer of Qi cultivation. Jiang Fan was immensely pleased, choosing not to disturb her and left the dragon rising path. Instead, he went to the Chen family. Tonight, he would break through to the 9th layer of Qi cultivation and should prepare for foundation establishment. Any cultivator aiming for foundation establishment needed a particular elixir. The Pifu pill. This was a 2nd-grade spirit pill, currently only the Soul Master from Green Cloud sect could refine it. It was almost never available on the market. If it was, it circulated on the black market. Huh, why are you here? Seeing the heavily robed Jiang Fan, Chen Silin hurriedly pulled him into her boudoir. Looking at the exquisite feminine room, Jiang Fan felt a little unnatural. It was his first time in a woman's boudoir. However, he was soon alarmed by Chen Silin's words. Someone is looking for me. Jiang Fan was shocked. It didn't matter if the person was good or bad, he couldn't reveal his identity. For now, he was too weak, without any background, yet possessing abilities that others coveted. If discovered, the consequences would be unimaginable. In that case, I'm afraid I won't be able to supply top-grade Qi cultivation liquid for a while. Jiang Fan pondered, but this will affect your Chen family's business. He had promised to supply top-grade Qi cultivation liquid continuously. Chen Silin was anxious. Why still care about my family's business? It's more important for you to protect yourself. Never come back here again. Seeing her care so much for him, Jiang Fan felt even more guilty. How about this? Does your family have materials for the Pifu pill? I can refine more now, and the Chen family can rely on that to attract customers. Once the situation passes, I'll continue to refine top-grade Qi cultivation liquid. Pifu pill. Chen Silin was surprised, but only Green Cloud sect has the pill recipe. Jiang Fan smiled. What's so difficult about that? Soon after, the alchemy room of the Chen family was filled with the fragrance of elixirs. Chen Zhengdao and Lu Qingxian, who had rushed to the dragon rising path, found nothing. Too late. This person even defeated Yun Tianzhou, who was the pavilion master of our heavenly mechanism pavilion when he was young. Chen Zhengdao was astonished. Lu Qingxian was also stunned. Winning against her and Chen Zhengdao was already impressive, but even Yun Tianzhou had been defeated. Yun Tianzhou was a super giant on the continent's top 10 experts list. He was defeated. Just who was this challenger? Despite extensive inquiries, they found no answers. Suddenly, Lu Qingxian noticed strange clouds gathering over the Chen family. Uncle Chen, what's that? Chen Zhengdao looked up, showing surprise. It's elixir fragrance. High-quality elixir fragrance. Someone is refining elixirs in the Chen family. They both thought of one person at the same time. The 3-star soul master. They decisively mounted their giant eagle and rushed over. Chapter 39, The City Lord's Daughter. At the same time, Jiang Fan placed 20 low-grade Pifu pills, which he had just refined, in front of Chen Silin. I kept some for myself, you take these and sell them. Chen Silin was overjoyed. The Pifu pills were even more enticing than the top-grade qi cultivation liquid. After all, many people had cultivated their entire lives and managed to reach the 9th layer of qi cultivation, but suffered from the lack of Pifu pills. Now that there was one lying right in front of them, they were willing to pay any price. Because once one achieved foundation establishment, their status would change dramatically. And with a total of 20 pills, selling one a day could easily maintain the Chen family's reputation. How should I give you the money then? Also, the qi cultivation liquid from earlier has sold out, and I owe you the money for that too. Chen Silin bent down to get the money. Jiang Fan waved his hand. No need for now, just keep it with you. Feeling that it was unsafe to stay at the Chen family's place for too long, he hurriedly took his leave. Chen Silin, however, felt quite delighted inside, gazing at Jiang Fan's departing figure with a murmured, "So, he trusts me that much, huh?" Soon after Jiang Fan left, Chen Zhengdao and Lu Qingxian descended aboard a giant eagle. They did not bother to hide anymore, directly asking, "Where is that 3-star soul master?" Chen Silin answered honestly, "He just left." Chen Zhengdao noticed the Pifu pills beside her and immediately stepped forward to pick up a vial and smelled it. Pifu pills. His pupils contracted. The quality is excellent, indeed the work of a 3-star soul master. Lu Qingxian was about to lose her temper, stomping her foot. How can it be so coincidental? He came right after we left, and he left just as we arrived. Who exactly is spying on whom here? With her stomp, the giant eagle underneath felt the pain and turned its head, revealing innocent watery eyes. Why don't you get mad at that 3-star soul master? Why are you stomping on me? I am just a passerby bird. Looking at the green cloud sect master's daughter, who was angry to the point of losing her cool, Chen Silin couldn't help but worry for Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan, oh Jiang Fan, don't get caught by this young miss, or she will surely teach you a lesson. Chen Zhengdao had also run out of patience, saying, "We can only say that our luck is too bad. We missed the prodigy, and now we missed the 3-star soul master. How about this, I'll stay here, and you go guard the dragon rising path. We should be able to catch one of them." Lu Qingxian regretted deeply. If she had stayed just now, she certainly could have caught the 3-star soul master. So she agreed immediately, and the two of them again flew up into the sky on the giant eagle, leaving Chen Silin with a sweaty brow. Fine, they're monitoring us openly now. Back at the Xu mansion, Jiang Fan, having just experienced a big battle, felt the spiritual power in his body solidifying, quickly swallowed a vial of top-grade qi cultivation liquid, and began to sit cross-legged in meditation. Soon after, his body shook, and a rich spiritual power overflowed from his body. He had astonishingly achieved the 9th layer of qi cultivation. Feeling the spiritual power in his body twice as dense, Jiang Fan felt confident that he could spar a few rounds with a foundation establishment projection of the 11th layer. Young Master Jiang, young Master Jiang. Suddenly, there was an urgent knocking on the door from the housekeeper outside. Jiang Fan opened the door curiously, looking at the panting housekeeper Jiang and writing in surprise, "What happened?" Housekeeper Jiang didn't even catch his breath, saying, the city lord's daughter, Miss Yi Qingshe, has come for a visit." Yi Qingshe. Wasn't she Xu Yining's close friend? 3 years ago, she went elsewhere for further studies, and now she suddenly came to the Xu family. She must be looking for Xu Yining. Jiang Fan wrote, "Has Xu Yining not returned yet?" Housekeeper Jiang anxiously said, "Not only has the young miss not returned, but the family head and madam, and the clan members have also gone outside to inquire about the Blood Bat Palace. No one is home, so we have to ask you to entertain them." No wonder they found Jiang Fan. Jiang Fan felt a bit unwilling. In his memory, Yi Qingshe, influenced by Xu Yining, didn't have a good impression of him either. She would always give him a cold shoulder whenever they met, never with a pleasant expression. But the Xu family truly had no one left. No choice, he had to brace himself and go to the main hall. Yi Qingshe, dressed in a silk moon-white long robe, with wide sleeves embroidered with delicate golden thread butterflies, had her glossy black hair gracefully draped behind her. Her slender and graceful figure, vaguely noticeable under the soft fabric, stirred one's imagination. A fair and rosy face, cold and noble. When she saw it was Jiang Fan who came, she showed a puzzled expression. Who are you? After all, she seldom saw Jiang Fan, and she had been away for 3 years now. Jiang Fan's appearance had undergone some changes. He picked up the pen and started writing swiftly. Seeing him pick up the pen, Yi Qingshe realized, no need to write, you're Jiang Fan, the mute. Although they rarely met, Jiang Fan's name had appeared in her ears countless times. Almost every time they met, Xu Yining would complain about Jiang Fan, complaining that he was a mute, complaining he had no spirit root, complaining he shamelessly wanted to marry her. Yi Qingshe had heard it so much that her ears almost got calluses. She had already formed a pre-existing bad impression of this person she had never encountered. Jiang Fan quickly finished writing a line. Xu Yining is at the Dragon Rising Path, and Uncle Xu and Aunt Xu are also busy outside. I'll have someone make tea for you. So Xu Yining was not at home. Yi Qingshe felt disappointed, standing up, there's no need. When Xu Yining returns, tell her to come to the City Lord Mansion to find me, I need her help. Jiang Fan nodded. Breathing a slight sigh of relief, he didn't know how to entertain Xu Yining's close friend. Being too indifferent or too enthusiastic didn't seem appropriate. At this moment, housekeeper Jiang suddenly ran back in a panic, a gash on his forehead, bleeding profusely. Young Master Jiang, it's bad. The Qin family head brought his clan into our house, beating people and taking things at will. You should go and take a look. What? Jiang Fan was shocked. The Qin family head's arrival, no doubt, was to demand the 30,000 taels of silver Lu Zheng owed. But if he wanted money, why would he beat people? He grabbed the wooden sword on the table, bowed to Yi Qingshe, and rushed to the front yard. Yi Qingshe shook her head slightly. Xu Yining was right, this Jiang Fan is not only mute but also a blockhead, not at all bright. The Qin family came with their whole clan, what can he do without any cultivation? Just offering himself up. The immediate priority is to quickly inform the Xu clan members to return. Or if he was a little smarter, he could have asked me for help. With a sigh, she helplessly moved her lotus-like steps. Fine, since I'm here, I'll help Xu Yining this time. Front yard. The young master of the Qin family snatched a 3-year-old Xu family child from the hands of an old maidservant. Ignoring the child's terrified flailing and crying, he grabbed one of the child's legs and dangled him upside down in the air, disdainfully saying, the scum of the Xu family, all the same, so annoying to look at. Then, he casually threw the child into a corner. And over there, it happened to be where the servants were boiling water. The old maidservant and maids screamed in fright and rushed to save him, but they were too far away and were too late. Jiang Fan arrived just in time to see this scene. His pupils contracted instantly. Chapter 40, Single Combat Against the Qin Family. He didn't hesitate. Kicking off with both legs, he sped over like the wind. Seeing it was still too late, he threw the wooden sword in his hand. The wooden sword precisely pierced through the child's hood, carrying the child and their clothing to a distant spot. Just barely avoiding a pot of boiling water beneath. He rushed forward to check, confirming the child was unharmed, then drew out the wooden sword and stared coldly at young Master Qin, writing. You even target children. Is everyone in the Qin family a beast? Knowing he had almost caused a fatality, young Master Qin felt a moment of guilt, but recognizing Jiang Fan, anger overtook him again. So it's you. My father has been humiliated by you multiple times. I've come for you today. Everyone, get over here. Several Qin family members immediately surrounded him. Yi Qingshe, who had arrived at the front yard, initially wanted to stop the Qin family's actions, but seeing Jiang Fan's earlier sword throw, she was stunned. Was that strike a mere coincidence? She wondered uncertainly. To hit the child's hood at such a distance without harming a single hair. That was a feat only a swordsmanship master could achieve, right? But Jiang Fan was clearly a person without cultivation. Had she misunderstood Jiang Fan all along? Intending to step forward, she instead withdrew another step, hiding behind the door, silently observing Jiang Fan. Young master, such a worthless guy, I can handle him alone. A Qi cultivation third-layer Qin family youth brandished his broadsword and charged. Wait, young Master Qin tried to caution, but it was too late. Jiang Fan bent his knees slightly, and with a casual punch, he struck the youth's abdomen, instantly breaking several ribs. Behind the door, Yi Qingshe looked shocked. Didn't Xu Yining say he had no spirit root? Then what was that punch? What shocked her even more was the Qin family head's next words, "Did a donkey kick your head?" He defeated Lu Zheng, his cultivation is at least at the Qi cultivation 6th layer. Attack together, he commanded. Several Qin family members surrounded him, varying in cultivation from the Qi cultivation 5th layer to the 6th layer. However, despite their numbers, they couldn't gain the upper hand. Jiang Fan swiftly knocked them all to the ground. Each was injured to varying degrees, lying on the ground groaning in pain. Young Master Qin was startled. "Have you broken through again?" Jiang Fan coldly wrote, "Why don't you try and find out?" He leapt forward, aiming his right fist directly at young Master Qin's face. Young Master Qin snorted angrily, "Am I scared of you?" He unleashed his Qi cultivation 7th layer realm, his fists attacking like twin dragons. However, upon contact, young Master Qin felt overwhelming force crashing against him. Without suspense, he was sent flying backward by a single punch. Outrageous. Qin Changsheng, who had been looting elsewhere, rushed over in time to catch his son, snorting, "You dare hit my son." Seeing his son covered in blood, the Qin family head was furious. Jiang Fan coldly wrote, "You vandalize Xu Mansion and blame others for injuring your son. You are as shameless as ever." Qin Changsheng righteously declared, "Repaying debts is justified. The Xu family is about to be confiscated, and I took a bit of property to cover it, what's wrong with that?" Jiang Fan did not speak further. He took out a silver note worth 300,000 taels and threw it on the ground, writing, "Here's the money. I pay it for the Xu family. But anyone who fights in Xu Mansion won't leave unscathed." Seeing the silver note, Qin Changsheng sighed in relief. But regarding Jiang Fan's words, he sneered disdainfully, "You think you're somebody? My Qin family comes and goes as we please, what can you do?" He then picked up the silver note and waved his hand, "Let's go." The Qin family members left in a grand procession. Jiang Fan, expressionless, brandished his wooden sword and charged into the group of Qin family members. Seeing him dare to confront so many Qin family members alone, Qin Changsheng was both humiliated and furious. This was utterly disregarding his Qin family. Attack together. Even an elephant fears a swarm of ants. Let alone a mere Jiang Fan, they could drown him with a single spit per person. Jiang Fan remained unfazed. The wooden sword swung instantly. Lonely star points. 3 stars illuminating the moon. Each move was more powerful than the previous. Although it was a wooden sword, not sharp, it still drew lines of blood. "Ah! Ah!" Screams echoed in the courtyard from the Qin family members. Jiang Fan moved like a tiger among sheep, striking one down with every swing. In just a few breaths, most of the Qin family members had fallen. Qin Changsheng was in a mixture of shock and anger. "Little beast, I won't spare you." He unleashed his Qi cultivation 8th layer perfection realm, pushing through the crowd toward Jiang Fan, clutching an iron sword and slashing fiercely. But with just one exchange, Jiang Fan disarmed him and slashed his chest, causing his blood to spurt uncontrollably. "The family head is injured. Run, run." Panic-stricken, the Qin family members hurriedly carried Qin Changsheng away. Jiang Fan pursued, cutting down all the Qin family members as they retreated from Xu Mansion, ensuring no Qin family member left unscathed. Seeing his family so miserably beaten, Qin Changsheng's eyes rolled in fury. "Jiang Fan. Xu family. You will pay, just wait. The 1-star soul master of the Qin family will return soon. Then, it will be your end." A genuine soul master, in any city, was a revered figure. Even the city lord of Lonely Boat City would bow in reverence to a 1-star soul master. If angered, mountains and rivers would change color, and rivers of blood would flow. 1-star soul master. Jiang Fan shrugged, "Let him come." Returning to the courtyard, he ordered the servants to clean up the mess. Those who once scorned Jiang Fan now obeyed him in fear, not daring to breathe loudly. This battle, Jiang Fan single-handedly fought the entire Qin family. What an invincible, unparalleled feat. Hiding behind the door, Yi Qingxie also came out with bright eyes, as if discovering a treasure, exclaiming, "Young Master Jiang, you truly are full of hidden talents." Jiang Fan had only demonstrated his Qi cultivation 8th layer realm earlier. His swordsmanship had yet to reveal its strongest technique. He hadn't even used his full strength. He calmly wrote, "You overpraise me. I still have to clean up. I cannot entertain you, Miss Yi, please make yourself at home." With that, he joined in cleaning the place. Yi Qingshe was a bit displeased. She, the city lord's daughter, spoke to him, and he seemed indifferent. Could he be getting arrogant with a bit of skill? She felt he needed to be taught a lesson in humility. "Young Master Jiang, I see your swordsmanship slightly lacking. Coincidentally, my master is a swordsmanship expert, I can guide you a bit." "Guide me." Jiang Fan thought briefly and willingly agreed. Yi Qingshui's talent wasn't inferior to Xu Yining's, and she had trained outside, her skills should be strong. She was a worthy opponent for a full-strength duel. He drew his wooden sword, inviting her to start. Yi Qingshe smirked inwardly, "Prideful boy, watch how I teach you." She said this while drawing her green sword and displaying brilliant swordsmanship, revealing her Qi cultivation 9th layer realm. Jiang Fan immediately grew serious, not daring to conceal his strength. He unleashed his Qi cultivation 9th layer realm and used his strongest move, 7 stars to the north. At the moment their swords met, Yi Qingshe felt an overwhelmingly powerful strike. Her sword was instantly disarmed and flew out of her hand. Jiang Fan's sword effortlessly broke through her defense, stopping at her throat. Jiang Fan was stunned. Yi Qingshe was also dumbfounded. "I lost. In one move. Just one move." Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.